And a pleasant good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Yolo High Wheelers baseball from Dobbins Stadium here in the city of Davis. It is the visiting Jackalopes of Grand Junction and the hometown High Wheelers of Yolo. So far, Yolo has won 3 out of the first 4 games. Tough luck loss yesterday. Yolo jumped out with a 5-run first inning, added another run in the third, and for much of the game led comfortably, but maybe not so comfortably. Thing is, Yolo was unable to add to the lead. 17 of the 19 batters, 17 of the last 19 hitters were retired, and that left Grand Junction able to chip away. And it was a 2-run homer with 2 out in the top of the 8th by center fielder Lavoisier Fisher, and that was the difference in the contest. And Grand Junction able to hold off the High Wheelers, winning yesterday by a score of 7-6. So Grand Junction comes in 2 wins and 7 losses. Yolo enters today at 4-3. Pitching matchup this afternoon, instead of it being Brandon Mitchell, he's moved back a day. So J.C. Arizu will still be on his regular rest. J.C. Arizu, the right-hander, he gets the baseball this afternoon. For Yolo, he is 0-1, an ERA of 9 even. Grand Junction will counter with the right-hander Elijah Johnson, and he is 0-1 through 1 game and an ERA of 12 even. So if you're listening around the area on YouTube Live, come join us here today. Greek night here at the ballpark in terms of sororities, that is. And one lucky fan has a chance to win an autographed team bat. Tomorrow we go at 1:05 for the first pitch to wrap up this series, Autograph Sunday. And then we head to Oakland starting on Tuesday night for the first of a 12-game road trip, 6 at Oakland and then 6 at Northern Colorado. So that will be but we get set for action here on another warm and toasty 1st of June. Here we are now, the calendar into the final month of the first half of 2024. Of course, our season just got going about a week and a half ago, but it is June 1st, and glad you can join us here this afternoon. All right, we're going to take about a minute and a half break, and when we get back, we will go over the starting lineups in just a moment. You're listening to Yolo High Wheeler baseball on YouTube Live. Back here at Dobbins Stadium as we get set for action, Grand Junction and Yolo, Game 5 of this 6-game series between the Jackalopes and the High Wheelers. Crowd continuing to trickle in here, as I said, this sun-filled afternoon from Yolo County. All right, let's take a look at the starting lineups. First for the visiting Grand Junction Jackalopes, come in with a record of 2-7 under manager Chris Nabashu, who's in his second year as skipper of the Grand Junction Club. Leading it off and playing center field, Lavoisier Fisher. Batting second and playing second, Andres Rios. The third place hitter is Drew Sackett, and he is in right field. Batting in the cleanup spot in left field, Matt Turner. The catcher, hitting fifth, Austin Shoemaker. Batting sixth and playing at first base, Conrad Villafuerte. In the seventh position, the designated hitter, Damian Henderson. Mike Bathauer is the third baseman. He hits eighth, and Jeff Disla rounds out the lineup, batting ninth, and he is at shortstop. On the mound for the Grand Junction Jackalopes is the right-hander, Elijah Johnson. So again, for Grand Junction and manager Chris Nabashu, it's Fisher, Rios, and Sackett, Turner, Shoemaker, and Villafuerte, Henderson, Bathauer, Disla, and the right-hander Johnson on the mound. For the Yolo High Wheelers and manager Billy Horton, and Yolo coming into today at 4 wins and 3 losses, leading it off and playing center field, Brayland Skinner, batting second at shortstop, Braylon Marine. Hitting third at second base, Bobby Leday. Sam Kaczynski is the designated hitter, and he bats cleanup. Jose Gonzalez is slotted in left field, batting fifth. Braden Blackford hits sixth at third base. Mason Minzy is at first base, batting seventh. Kyle Guerra, he plays right field and bats eighth, and hitting ninth and doing the catching is Angel Mendoza. On the mound for the Yolo High Wheelers is the right-hander J.C. Ariza. So again for Yolo and manager Billy Horton at Skinner, Marine, and Leday, Kaczynski, Gonzalez, and Blackford, Minzy, Guerra, Mendoza, and the right-hander Ariza on the hill. So again, we'll have one more game of this series and homestand. That will be tomorrow, and that'll be a 1:05 first pitch. So you've had, of course, all of these 4:30 starts just for precautionary reasons to beat the darkness, and because the light's not yet up to snuff here, so that's why we've had all these day games or late afternoon games, but they are considered day games. And then back to what have normally been or will be the Sunday 1:05 commencements. And then back to, and then as I said, we go to Oakland on Tuesday. We'll have 6 games in Oakland. We'll be the first ever home opponent for the history of the Ballers. So we'll have all those games for you over on YouTube Live. And then we will have for you the games on YouTube Live from Northern Colorado as well next week. The umpires for today's game, calling balls and strikes, Bill Shortridge. The umpire at first base is the crew chief, Eric Martinez. And the umpire around at third is Jimmy Richens. So that is a look at a preview of today's game. Again, the High Wheelers have taken 3 out of the first 4 games. Again, mentioned this tough luck loss yesterday, and got to give credit to the Grand Junction bullpen yesterday. Now the starter, Brandon Ross, gave up 6 runs, all earned over 4 innings, including 5 of those 6 runs in the first. But the bullpen combined to go 5 hitless and shutout innings. I mean, that is really impressive to go. I don't care what level of baseball, whether it's the infancy of professional baseball, as this is, or obviously the major league level of a bullpen can combine to go 5 hitless and shutout innings. That is pretty good, and that's what happened yesterday. I mentioned Yolo only had 2 base runners after the third inning, and obviously Grand Junction, despite its early deficit, was able to chip away, and then in that 8th inning, 2 out, nobody on, but Ethan Short got a base hit, and then it was Fisher at the top of the order, and the center fielder ripped a 2-run homer to right off of Noah Estrella, and that turned out to be the difference. And even though Yolo was able to get 1 base run in the bottom of the 8th, it did not figure, and Grand Junction ended up winning yesterday's count by a score of 7-6. So after the 19-8 win here on Tuesday night, obviously the last 3 games, I know 7-6, they say would be a decently high-scoring game, but for the most part, things have been a little more calm since Tuesday night. All right, we're going to take a break for the anthem, and then we'll be back to play some baseball in a moment. This is Yolo High Wheelers Baseball on YouTube Live. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Dobbins Stadium. And now down to the field for the Star Spangled Banner. All right, the national anthem here this afternoon from Dobbins Stadium in the Pioneer League. What are we now? 2 series in, which we will be with you from Oakland coming up on Tuesday, and again that will be heard right here on YouTube Live. And it should be a lot of fun to go see the first game ever at Raimondi Field. I've at least a Pioneer League game there, which has been renovated, about $2 million renovation project. And it'll be fun to see what that is like at its completion. So take a look at what went on around the Pioneer League, or what is going on around the Pioneer League this afternoon. Other games in the league, which not yet underway. Idaho Falls will be at Northern Colorado. Missoula is at Ogden. Boise plays at Billings. Oakland is at Rocky Mountain. And Great Falls is at Glacier. By the way, that game at Oakland on Tuesday night, 6:35 p.m. first pitch. On the mound for the Yolo High Wheelers this afternoon is the right-hander out of Belleville, New Jersey, and that is J.C. Ariza. He makes his second appearance and start of the season. Now, Ariza, he started Game 2 of the doubleheader last Sunday in what was his first ever start as a professional baseball player. Got in a one game last year with Rocky Mountain, but obviously now getting a much larger opportunity here with Yolo. Ariza, again, got the loss. It was a 7-5 Rocky Mountain win, part of the Rocky Mountain doubleheader sweep last Sunday. Ariza worked 4 innings, gave up 3 hits, 4 runs all earned. He walked 1, struck out 6, and gave up a pair of 2-run homers in that 4-run second inning. And we'll talk more about Ariza once we get cooking here momentarily. So again, tomorrow is a 1:05 p.m. First pitch, and then we'll have, as we normally do, Mondays off, and then get things going in on Tuesday night over in Oakland, and as I said, we'll go up to Northern Colorado after that. So we are set for baseball here today on this, as I said, Saturday afternoon, and it will be Lavoisier Fisher to lead it off. For Grand Junction, it'll be Fisher, Rios, and Sackett face the right-hander in J.C. Ariza, which stands for Juan Carlos, 23 years old. He stands 6'5", 235 pounds. So Fisher gets it going. And Ariza, black glove in front of his face, works out of the three-quarter windup. He kicks, and the first pitch of the ball game is strike one called on the inside corner. No balls and one strike to count. And we are underway at 4:36 this afternoon on a 90-degree day from Davis here on the 1st of June. The 0-1 pitch, and Fisher takes outside ball one. And the count is a 1-1 strike to the game's first batter, and Lavoisier Fisher in the hero for Grand Junction yesterday with that two-run, two-out homer in the 8th inning. The 1-1 pitch, and Fisher has fouled the plate, strike two. And the count's a 1-2 strikes to Lavoisier Fisher. So Fisher's had a pair of home runs in this series. He led off the game here on Tuesday night. In fact, he was the first batter of the series and homered. The windup by Ariza in the 1-2, and Fisher swing and a miss. Pitch up and away, strike three, and Lavoisier Fisher is down on strikes to get things cooking here this afternoon. One down. And now Andres Rios will come up to face J.C. Ariza. Ariza spent 3 years playing at Texas Rio Grande Valley. That's in the, well, they're now actually going into the Southland Conference starting this year, but when he was there, it was in the Western Athletic Conference. One of the reasons they're going to the Southland, they're getting football starting in 2025. So now it's Rios, and he takes a strike on the outside corner 0-1. I guess the other reason is it's a lot closer geographically, although nothing is close geographically to Texas Rio Grande Valley, which is in Edinburgh, Texas, just pretty much the Mexico border with the U.S. and South Texas. Swing, sharper to shortstop by Rios. Marine charges, and he'll throw on the run to Minzy at first. And Rios is out number two, so just like that, two out and nobody on. By the way, Rios coming into this afternoon at 286 with no homers and 4 runs batted in. So quickly 2 away. And now Drew Sackett comes up at 290. He has 2 homers. He has 3 RBIs. No score, top of the first. And Ariza, again, first base side of the rubber. Three-quarter windup delivers, and Sackett swings, and he pops this one up. First base side appears playable for Minzy. Just back of the Yolo dugout. The first baseman stays with it, falls down, kicks up a cloud of dust, and he makes the catch. So Sackett fouls out to first, and an easy 1-2-3 inning for Ariza. Nothing across after half an inning this afternoon. Grand Junction nothing, and Yolo coming up on YouTube Live. On the mound today for the Grand Junction Jackalopes is the right-hander Elijah Johnson as we go to the bottom half of the first inning. No score, Yolo and Grand Junction. Elijah Johnson is from Omaha. No wins, 1 loss. Worked 6 innings in his first game of the season against Boise. 6 innings, 8 hits, 9 runs, 8 earned. Struck out 8, walked 4. That's a busy line. Faced 28 batters, and as I said, worked 6 innings in that contest. So Elijah Johnson on the mound, and he will face Braylon Skinner to lead it off. So it'll be Braylon Skinner, then Braylon Marine, and then Bobby Leday face the right-hander in Elijah Johnson. So Skinner to get things going for the High Wheelers. And Johnson out of the windup, first base side of the rubber, and the first pitch is outside, ball one. And the count's at 1 ball and no strikes for Skinner. He digs in at 375, no homers. He has 6 runs batted in. Skinner came in to play center field yesterday in the 8th inning. Had 1 at bat, was 0 for 1. And the left-handed hitter takes up an in ball 2. And the count is now at 2 balls and no strikes to Skinner. Facing Elijah Johnson. He stands 6'1", 215 pounds. Johnson, that is. 2 balls, no strikes. Outfield around to the left, and the pitch way outside on high ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. Johnson is 25 years old. Mentioned grew up in Omaha. And for Johnson, spent 3 seasons at Bellevue University, which is in Nebraska. 3 balls and no strikes, the count to Skinner, the Mississippi State and University of Memphis alum. And the 3-0, and that's up and away, ball 4. So good start for the High Wheelers. So Skinner will head down to first base, and got to watch his speed. Skinner 6 steals. He's been conscious once. Yolo already 22 steals this year through its first 7 games, 22 out of 26 in the stolen base department. And now it's Braylon Marine who digs in. Marine walked twice in that 5-run first inning yesterday, but was 0 for 3 with a run scored. Johnson from the set delivers, and that's taken for a strike on the inside corner. And the count's at 0-1. Yellow's managed by Billy Horton. He is a third base coach. 2 balls and 1 strike, the count to Skinner. Turn throw to a Marine. Skinner at first, turn throw over. Villafuerte there to take the throw from Johnson. And back safely with a dive is Skinner. Looks like Mason Minzy coaching over at, not Mason Minzy. Looks like Sam Kaczynski coaching over at first. The pitch tap foul up along. Third, 2 balls and 2 strikes count. I'm not sure who that is over at. Wouldn't be Kaczynski. He's the DH today. Find out who that is. Anyway, somebody's there over there coaching at first, but usually we talk more about the third base coach. Justin Kirby, there we go. Kirby, obviously not in lineup today. Justin Kirby, normally we'd see him in right field, but he's coaching at first. 0-2 the count. Lead at first base by Skinner. They on the pitch, breaking ball, that is high ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and 2 strikes to Marine. So today we get to see the which, from what I have found out, will be the normal home Saturday jerseys, the alternate shirts that Yolo is wearing. So instead of the home whites that we have seen the last several days, the High Wheelers in the button-down black shirts with the bicycle on the left side of the shirt. Pitch taken outside, throw down to second base, and Skinner is out. He takes off, and he is out. Throw from the catcher Shoemaker to the second baseman Rios, and the speedy Skinner caught stealing for just the second time now. So 2-4 on the caught stealing, and that erases the leadoff walk, and the count is at 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. But yeah, the image of the bicycle on the left side of the shirt in yellow. I mentioned black shirt, orange number on the back of the shirt with the white pants, black cap, yellow bill. Swing here and a ground ball past the first baseman and Villafuerte and into right field, a base hit. I know what a lot of you are saying, well, gee, if Skinner had been safe at second, then there'd be a run in. But remember, pitch selection is different. Pitcher's mentality is different with 1 out and nobody on versus what would have been a runner at second and nobody out. Johnson can be a little more liberal with his pitch selections there, and Marine going the other way with a single to right field. So Marine, so 7th hit of the series. Remember, we had a 4-hit game on Tuesday. And now it's Leday, who's had quite a series, and he takes outside ball 1. And the count's at 1-0. Leday 370 through his first 7 games, 10 hits in his first 27 at-bats, a homer, which was the grand slam on Tuesday, and 12 RBIs. The kick from Johnson to the 1-0, and Leday a foul to the backstop, strike 1, 1-1. Nothing, bottom of the first. Yolo and Grand Junction. Leday mentioned he has 12 RBIs so far. 10 of the 12 RBIs have been in this series. Remember, he had 6 RBIs on Tuesday. Obviously, the grand slam, a big chunk of it, the 1-1, and that's up an in-ball 2. And the counts of 2 balls and 1 strike to Leday. 2 for 5 yesterday with a double, 2 RBIs and a run scored. 7 for 14 in this series. Lead at first by Marine, and the 2-1 pitch, and that's down the middle, strike 2. And the count's now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, Marine at first base, 2 steals and 3 tries this year. So 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Outfield around to the left, and the pitch, and Leday swinging a foul to the backstop. And the count holding at 2 balls and 2 strikes with Sam Kaczynski on deck. The 4 hits Leday had on Tuesday, he was a triple shy of the cycle. So 2-2 the count to Leday, getting the start at shortstop today. Guy who's floated so far between short and second this year. Turn throw to first, back safely standing up is Marine, again with the first baseman Villafuerte there to take the throw from Johnson. Talking about Leday, this is his 5th start at second base. He's made 2 starts at short. 2 ball, 2 strike pitch from the set. Leday swings and hits this one sharply past the diving third baseman Bathauer into left field, a base hit. Marine up to second, and Leday keeps his hot hitting going. Now 8 for 15 in this series. So 2 on, 1 out, no score. Yolo and Grand Junction. And now Sam Kaczynski comes up for the first time. Kaczynski, 9 hits in his first 24 at-bats, 375. And he's got 7 RBIs. Kaczynski, who in that 5-run first inning yesterday had a 2-run single. Well, he's got a chance at a few RBIs here as Johnson delivers, and Kaczynski takes on the inside corner, strike 1. No balls and a strike. Kaczynski has reached base safely in all 7 games this year. Runner at second, Marine. Leday at first. No balls, 1 strike. And Johnson's pitch, and Kaczynski takes up and away for a ball. And the count is at 1 ball and 1 strike with the game no score, bottom of the first inning. Yolo and Grand Junction. Mentioned Yolo in the black shirts and the white pants. Again, these are the alternate Saturday tops. Grand Junction in the royal blue shirts, gray pants, purple caps with the blue bill, the 1-1, and that's hit foul toward the netting right side. And the count's at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jackalopes have a white number on each side of the shirt, and the antlers of the jackalope, just an image of the antlers of the jackalope on the left side of the shirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. 2 on, and the pitch, and that swung on and hit foul up along third by Kaczynski. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here at Dobbins Stadium, which opened in 1986, right here on the UC Davis campus. 3,500 is the seating capacity here at Dobbins. 310 down the lines, 385 to the gaps, and it's 410 to straightaway center. Roughly a 10-foot wall all the way around. The kick and the 1-2 pitch, and that's grounded to third. Grabbed by Bathauer, steps on third for 1, throws across to Villafuerte at first. That's a double play. So 5-3 on the inning-ending double play. Stepping on third was, of course, the forced part of that, getting Marine, and then the throw to Villafuerte at first from Bathauer. So despite 2 hits and a walk, nobody scores for Yolo. So no runs, there were 2 hits, no errors, and there was 1 man left. We go to the second, no score here at Dobbins Stadium, Yolo and Grand Junction on YouTube Live. Yeah. That's fine.
If they come to you about that one, say it should be the other way around. That's how we win for it.
Speaking of baseball, and that baseball bat, Troy is holding aloft the High Wheelers signed
to the mound and then came out.
Yeah. Because everyone else sort of sent, showed their rosters, High Wheelers, change lineup.
What's going on right here? Oh, we got a new pitcher.
New pitcher.
Already?
Yep.
Yeah. What number is it?
No idea.
15? You know who that is?
Is it 15?
Ferrer.
Ferrer. Ben Ferrer.
Ferrer, Ben Ferrer.
Yep.
Your attention, please. Coming into the game and pitching for the High Wheelers, number 15, Ben Ferrer.
If you want to mention, he gets as much time as he needs to warm up because it's injury. So if people think what's going on,
Okay.
he's allowed extra time here. So
He will be out extra time for warm-up. Thank you. What happened to JC?
he came out. He came out to the mound.
They came in and they were asking for granola bars because they said he was cramping up.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was him.
They said he was cramping up.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's his
If you look at it, like just like that. Oh, and one. Just while we come to find the balls.
Well, he threw a no-hitter.
everyone else is the same, right?
Back here at Dobbins Stadium as we go to the top half of the second inning, and between innings, J.C. Ariza went out to do his regular warm-ups and then took himself out of the game. I don't know if it's what the deal is exactly, but obviously is leaving, I think safe to say, due to some sort of injury. I can see him now walking back all the way down the right field side, and of course here teams have to walk all the way down their respective sides to get back toward the clubhouse or shady area. So J.C. Ariza ends up lasting just one inning this afternoon and having to leave because of who knows what, whether it's an arm injury or a cramp or whatnot. I mean, he walked off the field on his own, but he has departed the game this afternoon, and Ben Ferrer will come on to do the pitching, and he will get as much time as he needs to get loose. So Ariza done after one inning, one perfect inning with a strikeout. That is his line, and Ben Ferrer will come in to eat up, obviously, a good chunk of this game. So, they said sometimes just don't know what to expect, and that is it for him. So Ben Ferrer will do the pitching. Major League Scoreboard, let's take a look at what is happening around the big leagues. Milwaukee, after having 23 hits last night, only had 7 today, but they win in 10 innings at home over the White Sox, 4-3. Willie Adames, a game-ending single for the Brewers. Texas evens its series at Miami. The Rangers beat the Marlins by a count of 7-0. 13 hits for the Rangers in that one, which included 3 hits for Marcus Semien and 3 for Corey Seager. Oakland, crazy one today, wins at Atlanta 11-9. That series even at 1. The A's at one point led 8-3. Then Atlanta took the lead with a 6-run fifth, but the A's scored twice in the 6th and a run in the 8th. Max Schumann had 4 hits. Miguel Andujar also had 4 hits, both for Oakland. Brent Rooker, a 2-run homer. Miguel Andujar, one of those hits was a 3-run homer, and the A's win at Atlanta 11-9. Houston, 2-run first, and the Astros at home even their series with Minnesota 5-2. Yordan Alvarez, a 2-homer day, also had 3 hits for Houston. San Diego, how about the Padres last night, had an 11-hit 8th inning. They scored 9 runs in the 8th, had 11 hits, the most they've ever had, most hits they've ever had in one inning, the Padres, that is. And San Diego follows that up with a 7-3 win at Kansas City. Fernando Tatis, a home run for the Padres. Kyle Higoshielka also homered for San Diego. Arizona, 4 in the 3rd. and wins at the Mets by a count of 10-5. Christian Walker of the Diamondbacks, a grand slam. The Mets, Pete Alonso, and Mark Vientos, also the Mets, homer. Cleveland, a two-run first, and Cleveland, how about the Guardians now? 39-19. Cleveland at home beats Washington 3-2. Two of those 3 runs for Cleveland on a single by Kyle Manzardo. Boston, a two-run six, and the Red Sox at home beat Detroit 6-3, despite the Tigers' Gio Urshela a two-run homer. But Boston again at home beats Detroit 6-3. Baltimore scored all 9 of its runs in innings 1 through 4, a pair of 3-run innings, which included a Ryan Mountcastle 2-homer game. And Anthony Santander also went deep for Baltimore, and Baltimore at home beats Tampa Bay 9-5. Pittsburgh a 3-run first, and the Pirates win at Toronto 3-1. Brian Reynolds, his 8th home run for Pittsburgh. Brian Hayes, his 2nd home run for the Pirates. Those two teams went 14 innings last night. For the Blue Jays, won on a home run by Davis Schneider, but they didn't need 14 innings today. Pittsburgh wins at Toronto 8-1. Going to the middle of the 3rd inning in Philadelphia, it's the Phillies 3 and the Cardinals 1. The Phillies 40 wins coming into today. They're the first team ever in Major League history to have 40 wins by the end of May. I'm going to rain on the Phillies parade just a little bit because now the Major League Baseball season starts like on March 28th. It used to start, remember, like on April 8th. So sorry, Phillies fans. I'm going to rain on your parade a little bit. But I'd have probably said that about any team. But still, 40 wins before May is impressive no matter what. Alec Baum, a 2-run double for the Phils. So they're going to now the 4th inning in that one. Philadelphia at home leads St. Louis 3-1. Angels and Mariners no score top of the 3rd. The Yankees will be at the Giants tonight. The Yankees won that game last night between courtesy of a pair of home runs by Aaron Judge. Cincinnati will be at the Cubs. Colorado is at the Dodgers. The other games getting underway later. All right, here we go. Ben Ferrer is ready to go. Top of the 2nd inning, no score. And Ferrer, the 2nd pitcher now of the day for Yolo, misses outside, ball 1 to Matt Turner. And the count's at 1-0, strikes. So it's Turner, Shoemaker, and Villafuerte, middle 3rd of the order to face Ferrer, who's from the Atlanta area. The 1-0 pitch, and Turner looks outside, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes to Turner. Turner has a home run in this series, bats at .295, 1 homer, 11 RBIs. The 2-0 pitch, and that is inside, ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes from Ferrer, capital F-E-R-R-E-R. 24 years old, 5'11", 195 pounds. Outfield fairly deep straight away. 3 balls, no strikes. And the kick and the pitch, and Turner takes, and that's down the middle, strike 1. And the count's at 3 balls and 1 strike to Turner. Well, the game no score, top half of the 2nd inning. Ferrer, white pants up to his knees, showing the thick black socks. The kick in the 3-1, and that's up and in, ball 4, leadoff walk, so Turner will head down to first base. First base run today for Grand Junction. And now it's Austin Shoemaker who will come up, bats at .143. No home runs and no runs batted in. So we've seen either Shoemaker or Sam Olson split the catching so far in this series. Outfield around to the left, and Ferrer's pitch from the set, low and in, ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and no strikes from Ferrer. 4-seam fastball, cutter, curveball, and a changeup. 1 ball, no strikes, the count. And the pitch, high fastball, swing and a miss. Strike 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. Ferrer's record, no wins, 1 loss. 4th appearance for him, all out of the bullpen. ERA is at 9 even for Ferrer. 1 ball, 1 strike as he deals, and that's in the dirt, ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. 2nd appearance of the series for Ferrer, who got the win here on Wednesday night. Out of the bullpen, worked 2 innings in that one, allowed 2 hits, struck out 4. It was his first pro win. Pitched scoreless baseball in innings 5 and 6 in that one. The 2-1 here, and that's low, ball 3. And the count's at 3 balls and 1 strike with Villafuerte on deck. Now Turner The runner at first base, not likely to take off. 3 balls, 1 strike. And the kick on the pitch, and that's a strike on the outside corner. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Turner is yet to attempt a steal this year. Jackalopes have stolen just 7 bases in tries through their first 10 games this year. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to count. We'll see maybe Turner takes off here on 3-2 as Minzy holds him on. Turner doesn't go on the 3-2 pitch, and that's low outside, ball 4. So back-to-back batters have walked on a full count. So Turner up to second base, Shoemaker to first, and now it's Conrad Villafuerte who will come up with the game 0-0, top half of the second inning. Yolo in Grand Junction. Well, Villafuerte digs in at 273. No home runs. He has an RBI. Not really a guy that you would call upon to sacrifice a bunt. Normally a big first baseman doesn't do that as he looks at a strike on the inside corner. 0-1. Villafuerte stands 6'3", 230 pounds. For Conrad Villafuerte, who I met before the game today. I asked him if he is related to a guy I used to cover with the Fresno Grizzlies, Brandon Villafuerte. The kick on the 0-1, and Conrad does bunt this one in the air, and right at home plate, just a pinch back of the plate and foul ground, and the catcher Mendoza makes the catch. Well, I just said, not a guy you would expect to bunt, and normally with your big first baseman, obviously he's trying to catch everybody by surprise, caught me by surprise, probably all of you by surprise when I said I didn't think he'd bunt. So he fouls out to the catcher, Mendoza trying to bunt, and that is a non-productive out, 1 away, runners hold, and now Damian Henderson will come up. But yeah, I asked Conrad Villafuerte if he is related to Brandon Villafuerte, who pitched a little bit in the big leagues with the Padres, Rangers, and Tigers, and was with, as I said, one of the teams I covered in Fresno. But Conrad told me, he said, no, I'm not related to Brandon, and he said, then I've never even heard of him. First pitch taken for a strike on the outside corner, 0-1 the count. Big hole out at right center, 2 on, 1 out. And the pitch, and that's chopped foul up along, first strike 2. And the count's at no balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, Brandon Villafuerte, last year he pitched was 2008, but Brandon originally was in the Mets system and then made it to the big leagues as a Tiger, and then was with the Rangers, Padres, and Diamondbacks at the big league level. But yeah, Conrad said, nope, don't know him, no relation. The 0-2, and that's outside, ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Henderson, who's homered in the series. Bats at an even 200. He has 1 home run and 1 run batted in. So you can pretty much figure where the 1 RBI came from. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count, with Turner at second and Shoemaker at first. 0-0, top of the second. Yolo and Grand Junction, and Ferrer's 1-2. Fouled off left side. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ferrer, a couple of places where he went to college. South Carolina upstate, spent 3 seasons pitching for the Spartans. And then his last 2 college years were at Oregon State. Between USC upstate, University of South Carolina upstate, and Oregon State, he combined to win 14 games. The 1-2 here, and that hits Henderson. Ouch. Ouch in many ways. Ferrer, that's the third 2-strike batter he's lost in this inning, none of which have been on base hits. So Turner goes to third, Shoemaker to second, and Henderson down to first on the hit by pitch. And now Bathauer bats with the bases loaded and 1 out, and the game no score. Top of the second inning. And then ouch on Henderson. Looked like it was a breaking ball that got him in his right knee. And Jerome Williams will jog out. The pitching coach will come out and have a talk with Ferrer, calm him down a little bit. Again, Ferrer was allowed all the time he needed to warm up after Ariza left due to injury or some sort of health issue. So Ferrer obviously wasn't expected to be in by the second inning this afternoon. So he walked Turner on a full count, walked Shoemaker on a full count, and then he had Henderson at 2 strikes, and again loses him on a hit by pitch. So now it's Bathauer who digs in, a chance to make some noise here. 139 for Bathauer, 5 for his first 36. And the pitch to Bathauer, low outside, ball 1. And the count's at 1-2 Obviously, Ferrer hoping for a ground ball at one of his infielders. As runners at every base, and Bathauer takes a strike on the outside corner. And the count now at 1-1 to Bathauer, who's been in every game this series at third base. 1-1 pitch, and he swings and misses at a breaking ball, strike two. Well, 1-2, and obviously Ferrer also would be happy to take a strikeout right here on Bathauer, who played 5 seasons at Adams State University in Colorado. 1-2. Runners everywhere, and the pitch, and that's popped up. Back of second base, backpedaling is the second baseman Leday to make the catch. I don't believe the infield fly rule was called there, but regardless, Bathauer is out on a pop-up to second. So that's 2 outs, and now it's Jeff Disla who bats with the game 0-0 here in the top half of the second inning. Disla pinch hit yesterday. Right-handed batter, and Disla hits at 111. 2 hits in his first 18 at-bats this year. So 0-0, top half of the second inning. So again, Turner at third, Shoemaker at second, Henderson at first. And the pitch to Disla, a big swing and a miss at a breaking ball, strike one. And the count's of 0-1 to Disla, wearing his gray pants up to his knees, showing the navy blue socks. Disla, I think I said he pinch hit yesterday. He pinch ran yesterday. So he swings and misses at a breaking ball, strike two. No balls into 2 strikes. Disla 0 for 2 here on Thursday night. 0 for 6 in the series is Disla. So 0-2 the count. On deck, the top of the order, the center fielder Fisher. 0-0. The 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Curve gets Disla, and Ferrer gets out of this mess in the third, and that is his first strikeout. No runs, there were no hits, no errors, and Grand Junction leaves the bases loaded. After an inning and a half, no score. Yolo and Grand Junction on YouTube Live. On we go to the bottom half of the second inning. No score from Davis, California on this 1st of June. Glad you can join us. Doug Greenwald with you on YouTube Live. And Jose Gonzalez leads it off for the High Wheelers. It'll be Gonzalez, Blackford, and Minzy. 5, 6, 7 to face the right-hander Elijah Johnson. Outfield medium depth and straight away, and Johnson's first pitch, and Gonzalez chops one foul. First base side, strike one. No balls and one strike. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for Yolo. Nothing across for Grand Junction. So each team has had 3 base runners in at least one of their innings today, and neither side has scored. Ferrer getting out of a bases loaded 1-out jam here in the top of the second. Gonzalez behind it, no balls and 1 strike. Jose's been having a good series, and now I believe a timing violation has been called. So a ball has been called on the pitcher Johnson, who was not ready to go as the clock expired. So it goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Gonzalez 8 hits in his first 17 at bats. It's a 471 clip as the 1-1 is outside ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. No homers, and Jose has 3 RBIs. Sits safely in his last 4 games. All those games in this series. 7 hits in that span. The 2-1 pitch, and he lifts one high and foul left side. And that is strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gonzalez has a 3-hit and a 3 RBI game in this series. Different games in which he had a 3-hit contest and a 3 RBI contest, but does have one of each. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and Johnson's pitch, low and in ball 3. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Gonzalez has also had a stretch in this series where he had reached base safely 7 straight times. Now that came to an end in the middle of yesterday's game. But overall, done a very good job. The windup in the 3-2, and he swings, goes the other way, left field, base hit. So Gonzalez singles to left. And he keeps his hot hitting going right there. Left fielder Turner gets the ball in towards second base. Third hit for the High Wheelers, 0-0. And now Braden Blackford will come to the plate. Blackford 3 hits in his first 9 at bats. He's got 2 RBIs. Gonzalez at first base, 1 steal. He's not been caught. Takes a small lead, being held on by Villafuerte. Outfield shallow around to the left, and Blackford takes, and that's outside from Elijah Johnson, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Mentioned actually going to challenge that last call. And it was confirmed a ball, so it stays. 1 ball, no strikes. Grand Junction loses its challenge. So 1 ball and no strikes, the count. And Johnson, first base side, kicks from the set, and the pitch to Blackford, foul to the backstop. 1 ball and 1 strike, the count. Mentioned Bellevue University is in Bellevue, Nebraska. That's right outside of Omaha, and that's where Johnson grew up. Bellevue is an NAIA school. Bellevue Bears. The kick in the 1-1, and Blackford takes outside ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. Blackford went to Southeast Community College in Beatrice, Nebraska, which is maybe about an hour south of Lincoln. 2 balls and 1 strike, the count. Outfield well around to the left. Big hole to right center. Gonzalez at first, and Blackford swings. Chops this one on the grass toward first. Gleb by Villafuerte, and he will tag out Blackford going by. So I know, folks, it doesn't go as a bunt, but I guess you could call that a swinging bunt right there. So Blackford is out 3 and assisted. Gonzalez does go to second base with 1 out. And now it's the first baseman, Mason Minzy, who will come up. Minzy hits at .313, 5 hits in his first 16 at bats. He's got 4 RBIs. 0-0, bottom of the second inning. So Gonzalez at second base. Outfield medium depth and straight away. And Elijah Johnson delivers, and Minzy a swing and a miss at a high fastball, strike 1. And the count's at no balls and 1 strike. But anyway, Johnson mentioned his time at Bellevue University was 11-2 over the course of his time there. Pitched 3 seasons. He really had 2 junior years because, of course, with the pandemic, you were able to gain another year as he pours in strike 2 on the inside corner, called a strike. No balls and 2 strikes. 0-0, bottom of the second inning. Yolo and Grand Junction. Gonzalez, the runner at second base, takes a pretty big lead. And the no ball, 2-strike pitch. Swing and a miss. Fastball, strike 3. And Minzy is out on strikes. That's the first strikeout for Elijah Johnson, who's in his first pro year. So 1 down, and now Kyle Guerra digs in. But Johnson was co-male athlete of the year for the 2021/22 season. Really more the 2022 year for baseball, but of course when you talk college athletics, you go from fall, winter into spring. So hence 21-22, but 2022 first team NAIA All-American. So now Guerra bats. And the pitch to Kyle, and that's it right back to the mound. Snagged on one up by Johnson. Dropped the ball for a moment, but time to recover. Picks the ball up and throws to Villafuerte at first. And Guerra is out, and that concludes the second inning. Guerra, by the way, coming into this afternoon, 4 for his first 8 with 2 RBIs. So he is out there. And the High Wheelers do not score. 1 hit and 1 left. We go to the third, 0-0, Yolo and Grand Junction on YouTube Live.
Sacramento Woodland, the official hotel partner of the Yolo High Wheelers. Go check out their brand new hotel in beautiful Woodland. Staybridge Suites, Sacramento Woodland. Lux Bus America. Lux Bus America is the transportation provider of the Yolo High Wheelers. If you need safe, reliable transportation for a large group, give Lux Bus America a call. Beef Noon. Thank you to our official ticketing partner, Beef Noon. And Woodstock Pizza. Don't forget to visit our concession stand, brought to you by Woodstock Pizza. Woodstock's bringing you the ultimate pizza experience along with other ballpark favorites. A lot of practice in college, when the ball gets practice, but then from there, I'm shaking a lot of hands, where the openings are, and willing to move and fly anywhere, everywhere. So,
You have a lot of notes.
right on the top.
Thank you.
Yeah, this third inning is also for
You gotta keep track.
Jack.
We have to keep track.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, no sweat, yeah. We go on to the third inning, 0-0, Yolo and Grand Junction. Doug Greenwald with you on YouTube Live. Top of the Grand Junction order for the second time for Lavoisier Fisher, and the first pitch from Ben Ferrer, low and in, ball 1. And the count is a 1 ball and no strikes, with the game no score, top half of the third inning. So Fisher, Rios, and Sackett. Now, this is their first look, at least in this game, against Ferrer, who came on in the second inning in relief of J.C. Ariza. Fisher tied up a knot, swings and misses at a pitch around his shoe tops. Strike 1, and the count is a 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, Ariza left. Not sure why he left. Obviously, it was some sort of health-related issue, but left after 1 inning. Big hole in right center in the 1-1 pitch, and Fisher drives one deep down the right field line toward the corner and foul. And the count's at 1 ball and 2 strikes. So because of Ariza, who went out, looked like he was about to warm up, and I don't remember he actually threw a warm-up pitch, what would have been the start of the second inning, but just took himself out of the game. I saw him walk off the mound and yelling something into his glove, which probably wouldn't be something I'd be allowed to say anyway. And next thing you know, I saw him walking down the right field line and leaving the premises. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ferrer deals, and Fisher is swinging a miss at a fastball, strike 3, and he strikes out swinging for the second time this afternoon. That's the second strikeout for Ferrer, 1 down. And now Andres Rios will come to the plate. Rios is 0 for 1. He grounded a shortstop in the first inning. Ferrer mentioned him having played his latter part of his college career at Oregon State. Delivers, and that's outside, ball 1. And the count is at 1 ball and no strikes. Of course, the college baseball NCAA tournament well underway. Yesterday, the 1-0 pitch, and that is high, ball 1. And the ball 2, I should say. And the count now with 2 balls and no strikes. So that Oregon State and UC Irvine are meeting today in Corvallis. That's the winner's bracket. Each team obviously with a win yesterday. The 2-0 pitch driven high down the right field side and out of play. And the count's now at 2 balls and 1 strike. So that game will get underway later tonight between 43 and 14 Oregon State and 44 and 12 UC Irvine. So that Oregon State ended up beating Tulane yesterday, and then UC Irvine beat Nichols, the 2 schools located in or near New Orleans, both getting shipped to Corvallis. Swing ground ball to shortstop. Up with it is Marine, and he will throw it to Minzy at first. And Rios is out. Second time Rios is grounded to shortstop, so 2 down. And now Drew Sackett will dig in. Nothing at nothing, top half of the third inning, but Ferrer's alma mater in Oregon State ended up beating Tulane yesterday by a count of 10-4. So now it's Sackett who fouled out to first base in the top of the first, and he takes a strike on the outside corner. And the count's at no balls and 1 strike. Outfield fairly deep and straight away for Sackett, who is from Fruita, Colorado, which is not far from Grand Junction. Swings weakly at a breaking ball, misses, and that is strike 2. And the count's at no balls and 2 strikes to Sackett. 0-2 the count from Ben Ferrer to Drew Sackett. Nothing, top of the third. The kick and the pitch, and Sackett takes outside, ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and 2 strikes to Sackett. Mentioned time at North Dakota State. All Summit League first team player last year. All Summit League second team player 2 years ago. Played a lot of games in the outfield with the Bison as he swings and misses at a high fastball, strike 3. And Sackett is out. So Ferrer, his first perfect inning this afternoon with now 3 strikeouts. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. We move on to the bottom half of inning number 3. Nothing. It is Yolo in Grand Junction on YouTube Live.
Fans, be sure to be as spirited as you can for this game as the fan of the night presented by Great White Woodworks. The most spirited fan of the night will win a team-signed bat provided by Great White Woodworks. Have a look up here in the press box behind home plate, and you'll see that bat signed by all the members of the High Wheelers. The fan of the night will be announced at the end of the 7th inning. Good. He's making that Rickman game in Alabama. You know, the classic. Yeah, it's at the Rickman Field in Birmingham. He's making that game. He's what is he?
On we go to the bottom half of inning number 3. Nothing. Again, tomorrow we'll Start the feed at about 12:55, right around there, and then a 1:05 p.m. first pitch to conclude this series and first ever homestand for the Yolo High Wheelers. Angel Mendoza, he leads it off, facing Elijah Johnson. 0-0, bottom of the third. And the first pitch to the High Wheeler catcher is inside, ball one. And the count's at 1 ball and no strikes. So it's Mendoza. And then the top of the yellow order for the center fielder Skinner and Marine, 9-1-2, with the game 0-0. Bottom of the third inning. And they pitch the 1-0 pitch, and Mendoza swings and pops this one up softly, back of short. Disla dancing out in shallow left field, and the shortstop Jeff Disla makes the catch, and Mendoza is out. 1 down. Mendoza coming into today, 2 hits in his first 8 at-bats, so .250 with no homers and 3 runs batted in. And I want to go back to yesterday, and I didn't know this until after the game. Manager Billy Horton came into the press box, and we were talking about, the man at the plate right now, and Braylon Skinner, as Yolo's at the top of the order for the second time for the center fielder who walked in the first, and he takes high, ball one. And the count's at 1 ball and no strikes. And remember, I had noticed sort of on the fly that Skinner had come into the game, and I wasn't sure what inning. I guessed the 8th inning, and I did guess right. And I wanted to get that confirmed with Billy, the 1-0. And that strike called on the outside corner. And the count is at 1 ball and 1 strike with the game no score, bottom half of the third. Anyway, the Billy Horton said, I put Skinner in the game in the 8th. And I put Angel Mendoza in the game as well. Swinging a ground ball to second, backhand grab by Rios. And he will throw to Villafuerte at first. And Skinner is out. 2 away. We're in the bottom of the third inning. 0-0. Yolo and Grand Junction. And now here is the shortstop in Braylon Marine. Marine, he singled to right field in the first inning. But anyway, Billy Horton says, I put Skinner in the game in the 8th. And I also put Angel Mendoza in the game in the 8th inning to catch. As I recall, Mendoza was on deck when the game ended yesterday, and I had said, if the game gets extended, Mendoza was on deck to pinch hit. Well, he wouldn't have been pinch hitting. He was already in the game, and I didn't see him sneak in the game. So Angel Mendoza, those of you who were keeping score, Mendoza came into the game yesterday to catch in the 8th inning. That was the other move. First 2 pitches to Braylon Marine. One has been a strike called and the other a ball inside. So 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Marine, who singled in the first inning. But you know that I am a bearer for detail, and I just want to make sure that all of you know that Angel Mendoza was already in the game catching in the 8th yesterday. The 1-1 pitch outside, ball 2. And the count's at 2 balls and 1 strike. 0-0. We're in the bottom of the third inning. I was talking about last thing, Elijah Johnson, All-America honor at the NAIA level at Bellevue University back in 2022, was 11-2 that season with 153 strikeouts. His 2-1 pitch outside, ball 3. And the count's at 3 balls and 1 strike. He's also the conference pitcher of the year, the North Star pitcher of the year. The 3-1 here, chopped foul back a third, strike 2. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Mentioned 11-2 with 153 strikeouts 2 years ago at Bellevue. Had a 1.96 ERA, but 153 strikeouts over 101 innings. He winds in the 3-2 pitch to Marine, and that's outside, ball 4. So he'll trot down to first base. Marine on base for the second time today. Reached base safely twice yesterday. So he has now reached base safely. Remember, one game in the series he didn't play, so of now the 4th game he's played in this series, he's reached base safely now a total of 10 times. Now it's Leday, who's been on base a lot. He's 1 for 1. Been on base a lot this series, what I mean, and he takes inside, ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and no strikes. But Johnson, the North Star pitcher of the year. That's the conference that Bellevue University is in the Omaha area. The 1-0 from the set, and Leday takes, and that's a strike on the inside corner. And the count is at 1 ball and 1 strike. Johnson did not pitch last year. I was talking to Chris Namashu, the Grand Junction second-year manager, told me that Johnson had been out due to injury and was rehabbing last summer. 1 ball, 1 strike pitch, and that's up and away, ball 2. So now 2 balls and 1 strike the count to Leday, again, who singled in the first inning. So runner at first base is Marine. Nothing, bottom of the second. Now outfield well around to the left. Huge hole in right center. There goes Marine. The pitch to Leday. Chopped to shortstop. Big bounce for Disla. And he'll throw to Villafuerte at first. And Leday is retired. So are the High Wheelers. No runs, no hits, no errors. And 1 stranded. We move to the 4th here this afternoon. No score. Yolo and Grand Junction on YouTube Live. Inning number 4 from Davis, California this afternoon. No score. Yolo and Grand Junction. And these two teams won't see each other again until August, early August, when Yolo will head to western Colorado. This is Grand Junction's only visit here this year. So Matt Turner leads it off. Will be Turner, Shoemaker, and Villafuerte, middle third of the order. With a game no score, top half of the 4th. And again, Ben Ferrer, who came on in the second inning after J.C. Ariza left after 1 inning. He will deliver to Turner, who looks at a strike on the inside corner. No balls and 1 strike. Again, you heard me say, Grand Junction has 1 trip here, and Yolo only has the 1 trip to Grand Junction. No balls and 1 strike. Turner walked in the second. That was the first batter Ferrer saw today, and he does. Turner takes a strike on the outside corner. And the count's at no balls and 2 strikes. But, again, with the schedule, a lot of teams in this league stay regional. They're kicking the 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3, but the ball gets past the catcher, Mendoza. The ball goes to the backstop. It'll be a strikeout pass ball. So Turner strikes out swinging, but he reaches first. It's the 4th strikeout for Ferrer, but the passed ball activates Turner down to first, so of course nobody out, despite Ferrer getting credit for a strikeout. Yeah, that ball went right through the legs of the catcher Mendoza. And that sets the inning up now for puts the first runner on now for Shoemaker, who bats. He walked on a full count in the second inning. Outfield medium depth and straight away, and Shoemaker bunts one, foul to the screen, strike 1. And the count is at no balls and 1 strike. But as you know, the schedule, 36 games this year being played between Yolo and Oakland. So, for example, Yolo does not see any of the teams in Montana. They don't see Billings or Glacier or Great Falls or Missoula, and they don't play Ogden as well. And Grand Junction does not see any of the Montana teams either. Outfield around to the left on the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball, a swing and a miss, strike 2 to Shoemaker. No balls and 2 strikes. And then Yolo instead will see the two Idaho teams. They'll visit there. Go to Idaho Falls, go to Boise. No balls, 2 strikes the count with 1 out. Big hole in right center. And the pitch, and that's very high, ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and 2 strikes with Villafuerte on deck. Nothing, top of the 4th inning. Doug Greenwald with you here on YouTube Live. So 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. And Ferrer deals from the set, and that's swung on and fouled to the screen. And the count remains at 1 and 2. It's kind of strange because you mentioned that Yolo doesn't go to any of the, doesn't go to or play any of the Montana teams this year, but Oakland began the year at Glacier, which is a ballpark I would love to see sometime. I've heard amazing things about that area and that stadium up in Kalispell. 1-2 pitch, strike 3 called, outside corner. Shoemaker knew it, and he is out. So it's now 5 strikeouts for Ferrer. Now keep in mind the runner at first, Turner, reached on a pass ball / strikeout. So now it's Villafuerte who will dig in. Maybe Ferrer will get one of the oddities in baseball. He could maybe get a 4 strikeout inning. You know, it's the old adage, you know, what's the most strikeouts a pitcher can have in 1 inning? An infinite amount. So Villafuerte takes high, snap to the first, and now back safely with a dive is Turner. The ball wasn't held anyway by Minzy, but I think Turner would have been safe regardless. So 1 ball and no strikes the count, no score, top of the 4th. I mean, suppose you could just all day keep striking people out and throwing wild pitches and having pass balls, but anyway, it's certainly possible to strike out more than 3 in an inning. The kick on the 1-0, and that's outside ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes the count. There was a 5 strikeout inning by a pitcher in Visalia this year with the Visalia Ball Club, Yasmer Alvarez, the 2-0 pitch, and that's popped up. Shallow left field. Marine, the shortstop, backpedaling, and he'll reach up over his black cap to make the catch. And Villafuerte is out, 2 down. Top half of the 4th inning. Turner holds at first. And now here is the designated hitter, Damian Henderson. But, yeah, it was the 7th inning of a game back on April 26th. Or actually, April 24th was the game. Yasmer Alvarez, of the Visalia Rawhide, that's the Diamondbacks low A club in the Cal League, struck out 5 batters in an inning against the Inland Empire 66ers, the Angels low A club. Now it's Henderson who takes outside ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. I mean, they had, a couple of wild pitches in that inning, or pass balls, which one of those, strikeout wild pitches or strikeout pass balls, and then just regular old strikeouts where the batter was literally struck out. But anyway, yeah, that was 5 strikeouts. That tied an all-time professional record. I mean, 4 strikeouts, yeah, you might see that once in a while. 5 strikeouts, really unheard of. The 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss to the fastball. Strike 1 to 1-1. Alvarez was the 5th pitcher in minor league history to strike out 5 batters in 1 inning. Last was accomplished by Malcolm Van Buren in the Appalachian League in Burlington, North Carolina with the Burlington Royals. The kick in the 1-1, and that's lined foul left side. And the count's at 1 ball and 2 strikes, but Ferrer, I don't think he's going to strike out 4 in this inning. You'd have to have now, at least 2 more, since there's now 2 outs. You'd have to have 2 more strikeouts. That would reach, or at least 1 more that would reach on a wild pitch. I don't think that's the goal. The 1-2 here, outside ball 2. And the count's at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Anderson. He was hit with a 2-strike pitch back in the 2nd inning, and Grand Junction had a great chance in the 2nd. And bases loaded and 1 out and didn't score. Lead at first by Turner, and the pitch. Fastball swinging and a miss, strike 3, and Anderson is out. So Ferrer does strike out 3 in this inning. He's up to 6 strikeouts, and that matches the High Wheelers' total for most strikeouts in a game this year. Tell you more about that when we get back. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It is 0-0. Yolo and Grand Junction on YouTube Live. On to the bottom half of the fourth inning today, 0-0. And Sam Kaczynski leads it off, and Elijah Johnson kicks in the first pitch. Breaking ball, and that's taken for a strike on the inside corner. And the count is a no balls and 1 strike with the game no score. Bottom half of the fourth. And Johnson from the set deals, and that's taken low, ball 1. And the count's a 1 ball and 1 strike. Doug Greenwald with you here on YouTube Live. We'll be back on YouTube Live tomorrow at roughly 10 minutes to 1, right around there. With a 1:05 p.m. first pitch at Dobbins Stadium, the 1-1, and that's outside ball 2. 2-1 autograph Sunday here tomorrow, so come early, get autographs from your High Wheelers, about to finish their first homestand. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. Kaczynski grounded into a double play in the first inning, a 5-3 double play. Johnson winds in the 2-1, and Sam swings and bloops one toward right, but that will hang up for Sackett, who makes the catch, 1 out. Sackett wasn't playing very deep, and the right fielder and Drew Sackett hauls it in, 1 down. I was talking earlier about Sackett, who this series we've seen him really play all around the diamond. We've seen him at shortstop, we've seen him at first, we've seen him at second. Now we see him in right field, and I mentioned earlier that right field was his primary position, although he still played a lot of infield, but was his primary position at North Dakota State. So now it's Gonzalez who's 1 for 1, and Johnson deals, and Hosea high pop-up foul, left side strike, 1-0-1. So it's Kaczynski, Gonzalez, and Blackford, middle third of the order here in this bottom half of the fourth with a game no score. Talking earlier about Ferrero has 6 strikeouts in his 3 relief innings today. The 0-1 pitch, high fastball, swing and a miss. And the count is at no balls and 2 strikes. And that matches the most by a High Wheeler pitcher this year. No balls and 2 strikes the count. And the pitch, and that is outside ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Brandon McPherson and J.C. Ariza each with 6 strikeout performances as well. So now Ferrer joins that group. The 1-2 to Gonzalez. Strike 3 called outside corner. And he is out. Second strikeout for Elijah Johnson. 2 away here in the fourth inning. 0-0. Yolo and Grand Junction. And now Braden Blackford will come to the plate. He is 0 for 1. He grounded out to first base unassisted. And Johnson from the extreme first base side of the rubber. Kicks and comes home, and Blackford a foul to the backstop, strike 1. And the count's at no balls and 1 strike. From Johnson, curly black hair out of the back of his purple cap. No balls and 1 strike to count to Blackford, who had the first hit in the history of this franchise back on May 21st, and he looks at strike 2 on the inside corner. No balls and 2 strikes to Blackford. Mentioned this the other night, but kind of a roundabout tie to this area. Is 6 degrees of separation in baseball with all the connections one has. The kick on the 0-2. Breaking ball, strike 3 called, inside corner, and he is out. Good pitch there from Johnson, but Blackford, who began his college career at Illinois State and played for head coach Steve Holm, who is a product of not only this area, Sacramento's McClatchy High School, but also was the head baseball coach at Sacramento State, or was pitching coach, I should say, at Sacramento State. Went on to coach at Illinois State in a head coaching capacity. So Blackford is down on strikes, and that's the 3rd strikeout for Johnson. Nothing across. Yolo goes in order for the first time. We go to the 5th. No score. Yolo and Grand Junction on YouTube Live. Heading on to the top half of inning number 5, 0-0, Yolo and Grand Junction. This is Doug Greenwald. You're listening to the Yolo High Wheelers on YouTube Live. Michael Bathauer leads it off, and the first pitch from Ben Ferrer. Slider swing and a miss, strike one. And the count's of no balls and one strike. It'll be Bathauer, Diesla, and then the top of the order for the center fielder and Fisher. As the pitch on the way, and that's taken outside, ball one. 1 ball and 1 strike to Bathauer, who was in college at Adams State in Colorado. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Ferrer delivers, and Bathauer flies this one softly toward right center field. A long run and a diving catch by the center fielder, and Braylon Skinner. Outstanding play there by Skinner, showing off that speed. Well, we've talked about his ability to steal bases, but he can also run it down on the other side of the ball. So Bathauer is out. Great play there by Skinner. 1 out, top half of the 5th inning, and now it's Jeff Diesla who will come up. He struck out swinging in the 2nd inning. And Ferrer's pitch, breaking ball, swing and a miss, strike one. And the count's of no balls and 1 strike. No runs, 3 hits, no errors for Yolo, nothing across for Grand Junction. And the pitch from the set, and that's a curve, swing and a miss, strike two from Ferrer. No balls and 2 strikes. So again, Ferrer came on in the 2nd inning after Ariza left after 1 inning due to a health-related deal. The 0-2 pitch, low ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Ferrer out of Alpharetta, Georgia, the Atlanta area. Now, this is not the first year for Ferrer in this league. He was in this league last year with Glacier, the 1-2. And that's tapped right back to the mound, snagged by Ferrer. He'll run the ball halfway to first. Underhand toss to the first baseman, Minzy, and Diesla is out. 2 away, top of the 5th inning, 0-0. And for the 3rd time here this evening, or this afternoon, I should say, again, it's a day game. Any game, as I mentioned, that starts before 5 o'clock is considered an afternoon game in the official records. Grand Junction will go to the top of its order for the center fielder, and Lavoisier Fisher. He is 0 for 2. And Ferrer delivers, and Fisher, big swing and a miss, strike one. And the count is no balls and 1 strike. Ferrer last year with Glacier was 1-1 in 14 games. The kick in the 0-1 pitch, and that's a strike called on the outside corner. And the count's at no balls and 2 strikes to Fisher, and a pair of strikeouts swinging for Fisher. Rios, he waits on deck. And the no ball, 2 strike pitch, swing and a tapper foul up along third. And the count holds it, moves now to no balls and 2 strikes to Fisher. And home run out to right field yesterday in the 8th inning, which proved to be the difference. The kick in the 0-2, and Fisher swings, lines one foul up along first. No balls and 2 strikes to Fisher, who, like Ferrer's from the Atlanta area. Fisher played his college baseball at both Albany State, a Division II program, and also a little bit of Division I time at Georgia State, which is in inner city Atlanta. No ball, 2 strike pitch, swing and a tapper foul. And the count holds it. No balls and 2 strikes to Fisher. Went to North Gwinnett High School. Fisher was actually drafted out of high school by the Pittsburgh Pirates in 2018 in the later rounds, and back when they used to have later rounds, but did not sign with them. The 0-2, and that's inside ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and 2 strikes from Ben Ferrer to Lavoisier Fisher. 1-2 the count, 0-0. Top half of the 5th inning. As Ferrer deals, and Fisher swings, and he pops this one up. The shortstop, Marine, on the dirt, will be there to his right to make the catch. So Fisher pops the short. And Ferrer, 4 hitless innings here this afternoon out of the bullpen. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. Halfway done, we go to the bottom half of the 5th. Still no score from Davis, Yolo, and Grand Junction on YouTube Live.
Baseball fans will capture a piece of history with our High Wheeler photo op. Here's the best part. Once you've snapped your shot, don't forget to share it with us on Instagram. Simply tag @YC High Wheelers and use our hashtags Yolo Baseball, hashtag High Wheelers, and hashtag Let's Ride for a chance to be featured on our dynamic social media channels and score some tickets to a future game. Next to the press box, up at the top of section 9, grab a hot dog and beer. So what are you waiting for? Strike a pose, tag us, and let's ride into baseball-shaped sunset.
On we go to the bottom half of the 5th, halfway done. Doug Greenwald with you on YouTube Live. Glad you can join us on this Saturday afternoon. At least it's Saturday afternoon where where we are. Who knows where it is where you're listening. Mason Minzy to lead it off for the High Wheelers. And again, each team has had a chance. The High Wheelers have yet to allow a hit today. Granted, Grand Junction has stranded 4. Yolo's had 3 hits, and the High Wheelers have stranded 3. So moving along to the bottom of the 5th, again halfway done. Mason Minzy leads it off. And Elijah Johnson's first pitch, and Minzy swings and a soft liner towards second, and to his right, the second baseman Rios. He makes the catch, and Minzy is out. 1 pitch, 1 out. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. 0-0. Yolo and Grand Junction. And now Kyle Guerra bats. The right fielder comes up. He is 0 for 1. So again, Guerra getting the start in right field today. We've seen him all around the outfield so far. We saw him in center yesterday as he takes a strike on the inside corner. No balls and 1 strike. Third start in right field for Guerra. Actually, we've not seen him. Well, maybe we saw him. He's not started a game in left field for the High Wheelers, but certainly capable of playing in left as he flies this one foul down the left field side. No balls and 2 strikes the count. Yeah, we actually did see him once. We saw him first game of the year. We saw him in left field defense. We saw him in left field coming in to the game as a substitute. So he has played all 3 outfield spots. No balls and 2 strikes the count. Outfield medium depth and straight away. Man the pitch, and Guerra slaps this ball to shortstop. To his left, Diesel up with it, and Jeff's throw, and Villafuerte has to come off the bag, and safe at first is Guerra. That'll be an error charged to the shortstop, Diesel. I mean, Guerra does have good speed, but the throw by the shortstop, Diesel, pulled Villafuerte off the bag, and you can tell it's an error when the umpire, in this case first base umpire and crew chief Eric Martinez, extended both of his arms and made the motion sort of like, meaning like, hey, the first baseman had to come off the bag. That's why he's safe. Now it's swinging, a low liner to short, snagged by Diesel, goes to Rios at second for 1. And he said Leon to Villafuerte for 2, and that's it. So much for that error. And the inning is over, 6-4-3. On the double play, Diesel, Rios, Villafuerte, short, second, first. But yeah, whenever the umpire makes that signal of the pitcher or of the first baseman coming off the bag to take the throw, It's an automatic reaction for the scorekeeper to rule that an error because a good throw would have had the first baseman on the bag and would have retired the batter. No runs, no hits. There was one error and nobody left. Yolo will have a new pitcher when we get back. We go to the sixth. Still a bunch of zeros up there. Nothing. Yolo and Grand Junction on YouTube Live.
Whenever the umpire goes like this, it's an error. That's throwing error. All right, so it's good. That's how we do this.
17 Zaleski. Jack Zaleski on the mound, number 17. Jack Zaleski, 17.
And who is that?
Jack Zaleski. Jack.
Jack.
J-A-C-K.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for the High Wheelers, number 17, Jack Zaleski.
Moving along to the top half of the sixth this afternoon. Nothing. Yolo and Grand Junction. Jack Zaleski, he comes on to do the pitching. So Ben Ferrer, 4 shutout and hitless innings out of the bullpen today. And he came on in the second inning after J.C. Arizo left due to a health-related issue after 1 inning. So Ferrer, 8 up innings, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 shutout and hitless innings, 2 walks. He struck out 6 and hit a batter. So now Zaleski on to do the pitching, and Andres Rios leads it off. And the first pitch from Zaleski, and Rios takes inside ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Zaleski, the Sacramento product, who grew up in Elk Grove and went to Sacramento State. A record of 1 win and no losses. The 1-0 pitch, and Rios takes inside 2-0. For Jack, this is his 4th appearance all out of the bullpen. He does have 1 save. 2 balls and no strikes to count. Rio, Sackett, Turner, 2-3-4 with the game no score. Top of the 6th, the 2-0 pitch, and that's a strike on the inside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike. Zaleski, 23 years old, 6'1", 200 pounds, was in the MLB Draft League last year with Mahoning Valley in Ohio. Is 2-1, and that runs inside ball 3. And the count's at 3 balls and a strike. Rios is 0 for 2. Twice he has grounded a shortstop. No score, top of the 6th. As Zaleski, white pants up to his knees, kicks and deals, and that's low and in, ball 4, leadoff walk. So Rios is on base for the first time. And that'll bring up the right fielder, and Drew Sackett. Zaleski, 4-seam fastball, slider, and a changeup for the first-year pro. I was talking about Ferrer, going back to him, and I accidentally had put in the game notes that Ferrer, when he got the win in this series earlier in the week, that was his first pro win. That was not the case. He won a game last year in the Pioneer League. That was his first pro win, as Sackett bunts one foul up along first 0-1, so I'll have to correct that. For Ferrer, was his first win of this year. But again, last year had 1 win with the Glacier Paddleheads of the Pioneer League, so that was a season ago his first pro win. So no balls and a strike to count. Sackett is 0 for 2. Rios at first. decent-sized lead being held on by Minzy. 0-0, top of the 6th. Zalaski's 0-1, and that's pushed foul via a bunt up along first strike 2. Third baseman Blackford was charging, so no balls and 2 strikes to count. To Zalaski, who did earn his first pro win, that I will tell you, because, again, this is his first pro year and his first pro win in this series. The kick on the 0-2. Breaking ball, strike 3 called, inside corner, and Sackett is out. Well, put himself in that hole trying to bunt and was unable to get the ball down. Give Zalaski his first strikeout. So 1 down, and now Matt Turner comes up. Zalaski turns throw to first, and out with a dive is Rios. Zalaski picks off Rios, 1-3 on the pickoff. The first baseman Minzy there to take the throw, so just like that, 2 out and nobody on. 0-0, top half of the 6th inning. Now it's only Zalaski has to worry about Turner, who takes up an in-ball 1. One ball and no strikes. But Zalaski did earn the win here the first game of the series back on May 28th. That was on Tuesday night, the 1-0 way back on May 28th. Pitch tap foul back on the plate, strike 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. But this past Tuesday, the 19-8 Yolo win, Zalaski earned the win by pitching an inning and a third of relief. The kick in the 1-1 on the way, and that's chopped foul up along third. 1 ball and 2 strikes. You can't earn a win by pitching an inning and a third of starting, but you can earn a win by pitching an inning and a third of relief, and that's what Zalaski did. Jack pitched 1 inning yesterday's game, pitched a scoreless 9th inning. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count with 2 out to Turner, who is 0 for 1. Outfield fairly deep straight away. 0-0 in the pitch. Curve, swing and a miss, strike 3, and Zalaski is out. Turner is out, and Zalaski, his second strikeout. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Still no score. Yolo and Grand Junction on YouTube Live. We go to the 6th inning, the bottom of the 6th inning. It is no score. And the top of the Yolo order for the 3rd time for Yolo. It'll be Braylon Skinner to lead it off, the center fielder. Then it's Marine and Leday to face the right-hander Elijah Johnson. Nothing, bottom of the 6th inning. Third baseman Bathauer on the lip of the grass. Outfield around to the left, and the pitch on the way to Skinner is a strike called on the inside corner. And the count is a no balls and 1 strike. No runs, 3 hits, no errors for Yolo. No runs, no hits, 1 error for Grand Junction. Skinner is 0 for 1 with a walk as Johnson kicks and delivers, and that's inside ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count to Skinner. And the pitch, that's outside 2-1. Skinner pretty much has been for the most part, consistent player in terms of the outfield this year. I mean, Guerra started in center yesterday only because Skinner didn't start the game. But Skinner now his 7th start in 8 games in centers. He takes outside 3-1. Tanner Smith, his name not called today yet because he's not in the lineup today. Normally we'd see Tanner either in left or right, but he has at least the day off, at least not starting today. 3 balls, 1 strike. Nothing, bottom of the 6th on the pitch. Swing, chopper to second base. Playing back on the ball, Rios, and the second baseman Soto Villafuerte in time. And Skinner is out, 1 down. And now it's Braylon Marine who will come to the plate. He is 1 for 1, a single to right, and has walked. So Elijah Johnson, 5 1/3 shutout innings so far today for the Omaha product. Went to Burke High School. So now Marine bats. In the High Wheelers had 3 runners on in the 1st inning, not literally at the same time, as the pitch to Marine is inside ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and no strikes. Remember, Skinner walked and then was caught stealing, and then Marine singled, Leday then singled, but then Kaczynski grounded into an inning-ending double play. The kick in the 1-0, and that's a check swing, foul ball toward the net right side. And the count at 1 ball and 1 strike to Marine, who was seen time batting either 1st, 2nd, or 3rd in the early going. The kick in the 1-1, and Braylon hits this ball toward short, scampering to his left, Diesla, and the shortstop's throw. Good pick at first by Villafuerte, and Marine is out. So 2 up and 2 down, bottom of the 6th inning, 0-0. And Grand Junction has won 3 of the first 4 games of this series. And now it's Bobby Leday who digs in. He is 1 for 2 with a single. Well, obviously, Yolo chance to still win 5 out of 6. That's pretty good. But no one has crossed the plate yet this afternoon, and it could be Leday later in this inning as he is plunked in the back by Johnson. So Leday will go down to first base. Appears to be okay. And that extends the inning for Sam Kaczynski. So Leday has reached base 2 more times here in this game. Mentioned Leday in the series now 8 for 16. Of course, being hit with a pitch, he reached base safely. Now Kaczynski, and he takes a strike on the inside corner. No balls and 1 strike. Leday, 12 times in the series now he's reached base safely. So Leday, the runner at first base, being held on by Villafuerte. No balls and 1 strike the count. Leday on the year 4 steals. He has not been caught. See if he goes here. Just trying to get a run, trying to get something going. No balls, 1 strike. And the pitch from Johnson, and Kaczynski goes around. High fastball, strike 2. And the count at no balls and 2 strikes to Kaczynski. Right fielder Sackett playing well off the line. A big hole down the right field side. Center fielder Fisher shaded over toward left center. The kick of the 0-2. Swing and a tapper on the grass to first. Villafuerte belt high grab. He'll take the ball to the bag. Steps on first for the unassisted out. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 stranded. We go to the 7th. Still no score. Yolo and Grand Junction on YouTube Live. We go to the 7th inning. Still no score. In fact, Grand Junction still looking for its first hit this afternoon. No runs, no hits, and one error. No runs, 3 hits, no errors for Yolo. No runs, no hits, and 1 error for Grand Junction. And Austin Shoemaker leads it off. It'll be Shoemaker, Villafuerte, and Henderson. 5, 6, and 7 to face Jack Zalaski, who's the 3rd Yolo pitcher this afternoon. And the first pitch to Austin Shoemaker is outside ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. He is 0 for 1 with a walk. Again, J.C. Ariza started and then went to just the first inning and had to come out due to a health-related matter. The 1-0 pitch, and that's outside ball 2, 2-0. And then Ben Ferrer came in, 4 shutout and hitless innings with 6 strikeouts, in which he authored. And now Zalaski into his 2nd inning of relief. 2 balls, no strikes. Outfield well around to the left, and the pitch to Shoemaker, and that's up and away. Ball 3. So now 3 balls and no strikes. Big hole out at right center. The center fielder Skinner shaded toward left center. Guerra not far from the line and right. 3 balls, no strikes. The kick and the pitch. And that's up and away, ball 4. 4-pitch walk to Shoemaker. Second time he has walked this afternoon. So Zalaski, in each of his now 2 innings, has walked the leadoff man. Last inning, he was able to pick off Rios. So we'll see if Shoemaker's stay on the bases is a little longer. And now it's Conrad Villafuerte who digs in. He fouled out trying to bunt to the catcher Mendoza in the 2nd. He's popped to shortstop. No score. And the pitch goes way outside into the backstop. So on the wild pitch, Shoemaker will move to 2nd base as the catcher Mendoza has to track that ball down near the screen. So a free 90 feet right there. And now Jerome Williams, the pitching coach, will come out and talk to Zalaski. I'm sure ESPN Radio in Honolulu must be online. I think just about every radio station in the world has an online feed, but coming up at 6:30 on the off day, that's this upcoming Monday, Jerome Williams is scheduled to appear with Josh Pacheco, who is the radio voice for baseball at the University of Hawaii. Got a note from Josh yesterday asking if he could get Jerome on his show out in the islands. Of course, as most of you know, Jerome grew up in Honolulu. Grew up in the town of Waipahu, which is about 20 minutes from downtown Honolulu. And Jerome, when I said, hey, Josh Pacheco wants to do an interview with you on Monday about 6:30, he said, hey, give Josh my phone number and have him text me right before the interview, and we'll do it. So anyway, it's nice that Jerome's still certainly recognized out there on the islands, and that'll be on ESPN Hawaii, or ESPN Honolulu, coming up Monday at 6:30 our time with Jerome Williams. Count to Villafuerte at 1 ball and no strikes. And the pitch, and shows bunt, takes low and in ball 2. Corners charging, 2 balls and no strikes to Villafuerte. Mentioned played at Colorado Mesa University, a very good Division II baseball program, which is located in Grand Junction. 2 balls and no strikes. 0-0. Villafuerte bunts to this pitch. Throw back to 2nd base. Now taken off for 3rd to Shoemaker. The throw down there is not in time. The catcher Mendoza threw to the shortstop Marine, and then he threw to the 3rd baseman Blackford. And that'll be a stolen base. Not necessarily your textbook steal right there, but that's really all you can call it. So Villafuerte, in a way, gets that runner over to 3rd. Now the infield is in, and the 2-1, and Villafuerte swings on a grounder foul up along 3rd. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And, yeah, I know Villafuerte didn't literally get him over to 3rd, but now a different role for Villafuerte. Highly doubt he's going to bunt here. Certainly with 2 strikes, I doubt he's going to bunt. Infield is in. And the kick on the 2-2 swung on, line foul down the left field line. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Grand Junction again still looking for its first hit. We're in the top half of the 7th inning. No score. Yolo and Grand Junction. So now with the infield in, the 2nd baseman, Lede, playing near the 2nd base bag. There's a big hole on the right side of the diamond. 2 ball, 2 strike pitch from Zalaski, and Villafuerte takes just off the plate, 3-2. So 4 out of the 7 innings today, Grand Junction has had its leadoff man reach. And we'll see how that translates here. The 3-2 pitch swung on, and that's driven toward left center field. That's the first hit and first run of the afternoon. And now the ball bobbled by the left fielder Gonzalez moving to his left, and Villafuerte will go into second base with an RBI stand-up double. And it's 1-0 Grand Junction. Well, ultimately, somebody was going to break through today. Obviously, somebody would have at one point. But what I meant by that is eventually the leadoff walk combined with a wild pitch and a stolen base is going to put more pressure on you. So Villafuerte being an RBI double. I know the ball was booted by Gonzalez, but Villafuerte was running the entire way. So it'll be a straight double for Villafuerte and give him a run batted in. So 1-0 now Grand Junction. RBI for Villafuerte is his second. Now a pinch runner at second for Villafuerte. And that's going to be Ethan Smith. Now, remember the rule that Smith can pinch run, and Villafuerte could still stay in the game after that with the new rule. Just because you're lifted for a pinch runner or a pinch hitter, you can come back into the game. They can only do that one time in the game, but that's a big second run out there possibly. So put Ethan Smith as the pinch runner at second. First pitch to Damian Henderson outside ball 1-0. The next pitch low from Zelaski, ball 2. So 2 balls and no strikes. So much like yesterday, Diesla came in to pinch run for Andres Rios, and then Rios came right back in the bottom of that inning to play second. The kick on the 2-0, driven high and foul right side. And the count's at 2 balls and 1 strike. So 1-0 Grand Junction. Top half of the 7th. Think about this for Yolo. Remember they had that 5-run first inning yesterday and then scored a run in the third. So they yesterday had 6 runs by the end of the 3rd inning. Didn't score after that. 2-1 pitch. Ground ball past the first baseman and Minzy into right field, a base hit. Smith rounds third, and he will come around and score standing up. So the leadoff walk now has led to at least 2 runs in this inning. Give an RBI single to Henderson, and it's now 2-0 Grand Junction. Henderson, that's his second run batted in this year. Both have been in this series. And now here is the third baseman and Mike Bathauer, and Billy Horton is on his way to the mound, and looks like that'll be all for Zelaski. But anyway, innings 3 through 9 yesterday. The final 7 innings yesterday, combined with the first 6 innings today, Yolo has been shut out now 13 straight innings. So Billy Horton just grabs the ball from Zelaski, and that is it. So we have a pitching change, 1 on, still nobody out, and 2 runs in now for the Jackalopes. We'll tell you about the new Yolo pitcher when we get back with the score. Again, top of the 7th, 2-0 Grand Junction out in front on YouTube Live.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for the High Wheelers, number 34, Connor Langrell.
The new pitcher for the Yolo High Wheelers is right-hander Connor Langrell. We are in the top of the 7th inning. 2 runs in, still nobody out for the Grand Junction Jackalopes, who have a 2-0 lead. Doug Greenwald with you again here on YouTube Live. Again, want to welcome all of our listeners. Great to have you join us from just about everywhere. So Langrell on to do the pitching. 4 and a 2-seam fastball, a cutter, a curveball, and a changeup for Langrell, who has made his last appearance here on Wednesday night against Grand Junction. First pitch on the way to Bathauer, and that's popped up foul right side, strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. It is 2-0 Grand Junction here in the 7th inning. Again, this started on the 4-pitch walk to Shoemaker. Runner at first, Henderson. And this pitch bunted out in front of the mound off the hill. Langrell up with it, gets rid of it quickly, and that will advance the runner. The first baseman, Minzy, there to take the throw. So 1-3 on the sacrifice bunt. And now Jeff Diesla comes up. He is 0 for 2. Facing Langrell. No wins, no losses. So far, 4 shutout innings for Langrell with 4 strikeouts for the Newman University product, which is located in Wichita, Division II program. Now the first pitch on the way to Diesel, that's a strike on the inside corner. No balls and 1 strike. Langrell, 22 years old, 6'4", 230 pounds, was in the MLB Draft League last year with Williamsport. The 0-1 pitch and a breaking ball, and that's taken for a strike on the outside corner. No balls and 2 strikes. So 2 runs, 2 hits, and 1 error for Grand Junction. No runs, 3 hits, no errors for Yolo. Outfield medium depth straightaway. Look back at second by Langrell in the 0-2. And that's outside, ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count to Diesla. Gray pants up to his knees. Langrell back to the plate from the set, and Diesla takes just outside, ball 2. So now 2 balls and 2 strikes the count to Jeff Diesla, who went to Northern State University, which is in Aberdeen, South Dakota. Had a couple of years there for the Wolves as he swings on a ground ball foul up along first. Or up along third base, I should say. So 2 balls and 2 strikes the count to Diesla. He's originally from Patterson, New Jersey. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. And the pitch from Langrell, and that's down the middle, strike 3. Now Diesla would like that to be challenged. Plate umpire Bill Shortridge looks back at the press box. And it's been confirmed, strike 3, and Diesla kind of turns his head away, but you know what, he he did challenge it, and I guess the umpire and Bill Shortridge was right. So Diesla strikes out for the second time for a strikeout for Langrell. 2 down now. 2-0 Grand Junction, top of the 7th, and for the 4th time this afternoon, Grand Junction will go to the top of its order for the center fielder in Lavoisier Fisher. He's 0 for 3. And the pitch to Fisher, foul to the plate, strike 1. And the count is at no balls and 1 strike. So Fisher, hitless in 3 tries today. Runner at second base is Henderson. Big lead there. Of course, he'll be off on contact. Outfield around to the left, big hole in right center. And the 0-1 pitch from Langrell, lined foul up along first. No balls and 2 strikes from Langrell, who spent his graduate year last season at Bradley University in Peoria, Illinois. No balls and 2 strikes the count. So he did play 1 year of Division I baseball after a lengthy D2 career at Newman. No balls, 2 strikes, and now Langrell steps off the rubber. Had a chance to see a game last year in Peoria at the the Pro Ballpark, which is also the college ballpark where Bradley plays. The Peoria Chiefs, the Cardinals High A ball club, is the 0-2 pitch, low ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and 2 strikes with a 2-0 Grand Junction lead. Top half of the 7th inning, with Rio sweating on deck. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Langrell deals from the set, and a breaking ball, swing and a miss, strike 3. And Fisher strikes out swinging for the 3rd time today. 2nd strikeout for Langrell. But Grand Junction breaks through for 2 runs on 2 hits. There were no errors and a runner left. Stretch time on this Saturday afternoon from Davis. It's now Grand Junction 2 and Yolo nothing on YouTube Live.
His roll out the barrel is his famous septic stretch song after septic stretch. Yeah, we can switch it up, definitely.
I'm just curious. I was just curious because I've heard it played a bunch of times.
You know where Milwaukee? So it is the Brewers. Yes, yeah.
Stretch time from Yolo County as we go to the bottom of the 7th. It is 2-0 Grand Junction. Elijah Johnson still out there for the High Wheelers, and Jose Gonzalez leads it off. Johnson's been in from the start, and now the High Wheelers need to start getting things together here. Gonzalez, Blackford, and Minzy, 5, 6, 7 as Johnson delivers, and Gonzalez high fastball, swing and a miss, strike 1. And the count is at no balls and 1 strike. Doug Greenwald with you again on YouTube Live on this Saturday afternoon. 2-0 the Jackalopes out in front. Gonzalez 1 for 2 with a single, and he takes low ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and no strikes, or 1 ball and 1 strike to Gonzalez, who's hit safely now in all 5 games of this series, so 5 straight games for Gonzalez with a hit. Outfield around to the left, and Jose swings, and he drives this one the other way. Left field, base hit. Similar hit as he had in the 3rd inning. Well, it's a start. Remember, down by 2. Now the High Wheelers get the possible tying run to the plate, and it's Braden Blackford who bats. He is 0 for 2. He is grounded to first unassisted, and he is struck out looking. High Wheelers' best chance was in the 1st. They had 2 on and 1 out, and then Kaczynski into the double play. But all the other innings since, Yolo has only had 1 base runner on. So now it's Blackford who shows bunt. 3rd baseman Bathauer charging. Pitch outside, ball 1. And the count's at 1 ball and no strikes. So Yolo has yet to have a runner as far as 3rd base today. Outfield around to the left side. 1 ball, no strikes. 2-0 Grand Junction, and first to Blackford, high ball 2. And the count's now with 2 balls and no strikes. So 2-0 the count with Mason Minzy wetting on deck. By the way, the hit by Gonzalez, that's the 4th Yolo hit this afternoon. 2 ball, no strike pitch from Elijah Johnson, and that swung on and popped up foul left side, strike 1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. So Grand Junction coming back to win yesterday, 7-6. It's their second win of the year. High Wheelers had won the first 3 games of this series. 2 balls and 1 strike. Third baseman Bathauer just on the lip of the grass on the pitch. High fastball, swing and a miss, strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. See the High Wheeler canopies up right now. Merchandise tent just right outside the press box. Another area where the fans want to keep a little cool, can stand and get some shade under one of the other High Wheeler canopies. 2-2 here, up and in, ball 3, 3-2. Again, Gonzalez, he's the runner at first base. We'll see if he goes here. 3 balls and 2 strikes the count. Jose has 1 steal this year. He's not been caught. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Outfield shaded around to the left. Gonzalez doesn't go in the 3-2. And that's outside, ball 4. And now some 7th inning music for the High Wheelers. So the first time since the first inning, the High Wheelers have had 2 runners on at the same time. It is 2-0 in favor of the visiting Jackalopes. And now Mason Minzy bats, and he's the possible go-ahead run. He is 0 for 2. He has struck out swinging. He is lined to second. I'd have to think that somebody had been warming by now in the Grand Junction left field bullpen. Again, both bullpens here are out of our view. Went down to the area where Grand Junction hangs out. Again, this facility does not have literally a clubhouse on site. So the clubhouses here are about a 10-minute walk, but usually the teams are escorted on a golf cart that runs back and forth to get players over here. So after batting practice, the Grand Junction team hangs out down the, if they don't go back to the clubhouse, the players hang down around the left field side. So now it's Minzy who shows bunt, and he pushes it up along the grass, third base side, charged by Bathauer, and his one play is to Villafuerte at first. So Minzy on the sacrifice bunt moves the runners. So Gonzalez goes to third, Blackford up to second. 5-3 on the sac bunt. So Minzy stays 0 for 2. And now a big moment for Kyle Guerra. 2-0 Grand Junction, 7th inning. Oh, now a base hit to the outfield could tie it high. Of course, Mr. Obvious here. Safe to say the High Wheelers at least need to get 1 run out of this. Middle infield is back, and the pitch, and Guerra swings, and he drives one towards center. Over and to his right to make the catch, Fisher, and this will at least get 1 run in. Tagging from third is Gonzalez, and he will score. Blackford holds at second base, so Guerra does the job. Sacrifice fly, and a run batted in, and it's now 2-1. Grand Junction. So give Guerra his 3rd RBI of the young campaign. And no need for Blackford to try to go to third there, because with 2 out, a base hit to the outfield, or a base hit anywhere, you're off on contact. And a base hit to the outfield, you're likely going to score with 2 out. So Blackford being at second in this situation, just about being the same as being at third. Now it's Mendoza, and he takes a strike on the outside corner. Oh, and once that's the first run in the last 13-plus innings for the High Wheelers. Mentioned did not score in innings 3 through 9 yesterday and were shut out through the first 6 innings today. Mendoza, he's 0 for 2. So the tying run at second, and that's Blackford, and the pitch from Johnson is inside for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike to Mendoza. Last time up, that was in the 5th inning, hit into a 6-4-3 double play. 2 runs, 2 hits, and 1 error for the visiting Jackalopes, who run 4 hits, no errors, so the hometown High Wheelers. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lay on the pitch, and Mendoza takes way outside, ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike to Mendoza. Player of the year in the Appalachian Athletic Conference. The lone season there, which was last year at Union College in Kentucky. He had 404 for the season, and that was only good enough for third in that league. The kick on the 2-1. And he looks just outside, ball 3. So now 3 balls and 1 strike. On deck, the top of the order, and the center fielder in Braylon Skinner. Doug Greenwald here at Dobbins Stadium. 3 balls, 1 strike to count with 2 out. Blackford at second, the tying run. Big lead there. And Elijah Johnson's 3-1 pitch. big swing and a miss, high fastball there. Strike 2, 3, and 2. My guess is this will be Johnson's last batter no matter what. Obviously, if he gets Mendoza, he gets through 7 innings with the lead. If he doesn't get Mendoza, then the inning continues. And I'd have to think that somebody is getting loose for Grand Junction. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Grand Junction 2, Yolo 1, bottom 7. And the 3-2 pitch. Mendoza swings, hits one foul down the left field side. And the count holds at 3 balls and 2 strikes to Angel Mendoza, who was at Trenton last year in the MLB Draft League. Played for the Trenton Thunder. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Again, lead at second by Blackford, and the payoff, very high ball 4. That pitch nowhere near the plate. In fact, the catcher in Shoemaker had to really reach up to grab that one. So now it's first and second, and the possible go-ahead run is at first base. And for the 4th time this afternoon, Yolo will go to the top of its order for the center fielder, Braylon Skinner, and Chris Nabashu, the manager, on his way to the mound, and that will indeed be all for Elijah Johnson. So we have a pitching change, bottom of the 7th, things tightening up here, 2 on, 2 out, Grand Junction 2 and Yolo 1. Back in a moment on YouTube Live.
Your attention, please. A pitching change for Grand Junction Jackalopes. Left-handed pitcher number 6, Cole Lee.
Cole Lee, the left-hander, he is the new pitcher for the Grand Junction Jackalopes. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. It is 2-1 in favor of the Jackalopes. By the way, Conrad Villafuerte stayed in the ball game. Now, remember, he was lifted for a pinch runner when Ethan Smith came in the 7th inning. But again, with the new rule being instituted in the Pioneer League, when you can pinch run or pinch hit, the batter for whom was pinch hit or pinch run, he can come back into the ball game. It has to be immediately in the next inning or next half inning. So Villafuerte lifted for a pinch runner in the top of this inning, but staying into play at first base. So in other words, just remains in the game. So now Cole Lee, who pitched here on Tuesday night, he comes on with 2 on and 2 out. Top of the Yolo order for the 4th time for the center fielder, Braylon Skinner, who fouls one off left side, strike 1. No balls and 1 strike. Lee from Oklahoma City, 5'9", 180 pounds. He's 25 years old. Played in the Pecos League last year with the Garden City Wind, a team in Kansas, so does have a little pro experience. The 0-1, and Skinner takes in the dirt for a ball, curveball there. And the count's at 1 ball and 1 strike from Cole Lee. Again, 5'9", 180 pounds. Tuesday night, first game of the series, Lee worked 3 1/3 innings of shutout relief, allowed 3 hits, a walk, and struck out 4. Only pitcher that seemed to do well in that game for Grand Junction in that 19-8 Yolo win. The 1-1 to Skinner. That bounces in the dirt, gets past the catcher Shoemaker, and that will go to the screen. So we'll see how that will turn out on the wild pitch. Shoemaker has to go track that ball down. So Blackford goes to third. Mendoza up to second base. And now a base hit to the outfield could give Yolo the lead. It also takes away any chance of a force play. 2 balls, 1 strike to count. Skinner's 0 for 2 with a walk. Blackford at third, Mendoza at second, the 2-1. And that's taken to the knees. Strike 2 from Cole Lee. And the count's now at 2-2 to Skinner, wearing his white pants up to his knees, showing the thick black socks. Braylon Marine waits on deck. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the 7th inning. Jackalopes 2, High Wheelers 1, and the 2-2, and that's low outside, ball 3. Good pick there by the catcher Shoemaker. So 3 balls and 2 strikes the count. So that's the way baseball goes sometimes. You fly through the first 6 innings, bunch of zeros up there, then you get to the 7th, and one visiting team scores, the home team scores. More traffic on the bases, pitching changes, things slow a little bit. The kick in the 3-2, and that swung on and hit up the middle, and a diving catch by the shortstop Diesla to his left. And that maintains a Grand Junction 2-1 lead. That ball was hit up the middle, headed towards center, and the shortstop, Jeff Diesla, outstanding play, diving catch there. And that ends the bottom half of the 7th, and it keeps it a 2-1 Jackalopes advantage. Otherwise, that ball easily is in center field and easily scores 2 runs. And Diesla said, I don't think so. Outstanding play there. And the High Wheelers have to settle for the 1 run. So 1 run on 1 hit. There were no errors and 2 left. What a play by Diesla. We go to the 8th inning. It's now 2-1. Grand Junction out in front over Yolo on YouTube Live. We go to the 8th inning, and Grand Junction up 2-1 over Yolo. So Elijah Johnson, here's the other thing. Here's a guy that obviously pitched extremely well today. And if it wasn't for Diesla and that tremendous line drive catch, Yolo would have had the lead, and Johnson would have left on the hook for this one. He would have been in line for a loss. Instead, he leaves in line for a win. First pitch to Andres Rios from Connor Langrell is taken for a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Rios, second, and Turner, 2-3-4. Or the Jackalopes, the 0-1 pitch, and that is high ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Elijah Johnson today, 6 2/3 innings, allowed 4 hits, 1 run earned. Walked 4, struck out 3, and hit a batter. 1 ball, 1 strike. Langrell delivers, and Rios swings and flies this one to right. In the shade out there is Guerra, and the right fielder Kyle Guerra. He makes the catch, and that's the first out here in the top half of the 8th inning. And a 2-1 lead for the Grand Junction Jackalopes. So again, all the scoring done in the 7th inning. Jack Zalaski for Yolo today, 1 inning plus, gave up 2 hits, 2 runs both earned. 2 walks and a strikeout. Now it's Sackett who's hitless in 3 tries, and Lingrell's pitch outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. And Doug Greenwald with you here on YouTube Live on this sunny Saturday afternoon. We'll have earlier afternoon baseball tomorrow. The 1-0 pitch. Sackett flies one high into left center field, and to his right, it's the center fielder, Braylon Skinner, who will be there to make the catch. 2 up, 2 down. Top half of inning number 8. 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 error for Grand Junction. A run, 4 hits, no errors for Yolo. And now Matt Turner digs in. He is 0 for 2 with a walk. Pitching matchup tomorrow. Right-hander Josh Verdon will get the baseball for Grand Junction. Remember, he was the starter for the Jackalopes here on Tuesday night. First pitch, curveball, taken for a strike on the inside corner by Turner. No balls and 1 strike. And then left-hander Brandon Mitchell gets the baseball tomorrow for the High Wheelers. The 0-1 pitch popped up foul right side, strike 2. And the count's at no balls and 2 strikes with Shoemaker wetting on deck. 0-2 the count. And the pitch, and that swung on and chopped over the mound toward short. Charged and gloved by Marine, and up with the ball. He'll throw on to Minzy at first, and Turner is out. And a 1-2-3 8th inning. So Langrell has retired all 6 batters he has seen this afternoon. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Grand Junction 2 and Yolo 1 on YouTube Live. Inning number, well, we go to the bottom of inning number 8. We're already in inning number 8. The bottom half of inning number 8. 2-1. Grand Junction leads Yolo. This is Doug Greenwald. You're listening to the Yolo High Wheelers on YouTube Live. We'll be with you on YouTube Live tomorrow at roughly 12:50, about 2 minutes to 1 in the Pacific time zone, and then we'll tee it up on YouTube Live from Oakland on Tuesday night. First pitch on the way to Braylon Marine is driven foul right side, strike 1. And the count's at no balls and 1 strike. So it's Marine, Leday, and Kaczynski. 2, 3, and 4 to face Cole Lee, who's 0-1 pitch. And that's popped up foul right side, strike 2. And the count's at no balls and 2 strikes. Marine is 1 for 2 with a single and a walk. Lee came on in the 7th inning, and the 0-2 pitch, high ball 1-2. But the no doubt play of the game was in the bottom of the 7th. The High Wheelers had 2nd and 3rd. 2 out, and Skinner hit a ball lined up the middle. Looked like it was going to be a 2-run hit. Instead, Diesel, the shortstop, a diving catch to his left to preserve that lead. The pitch outside, 2-2. The next pitch to Marine, foul to the backstop. And the count holds it 2 balls and 2 strikes to Braylon Marine. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. The windup and the pitch. Marine takes up and away, ball 3. So now 3 balls and 2 strikes the count to Marine, who was a third baseman quite a bit in college as he swings and he pops this one up, foul first base side, and that'll reach the seats. And the count remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes to Marine, mentioned out of Newberry University in South Carolina. Division II program, won a couple of conference championships when he was there. 3-2 pitch, swing and a foul to the backstop. Likely would have been ball 4, but had to protect right there. And remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, the South Atlantic Conference is a conference that he played. The 3-2, and that is high, ball 4, so Marine draws a walk. Third time he's been on base, and now the possible tying run to first. And here is the second baseman, and Bobby Leday. So it's probably not what Lee had in mind, and walking the leadoff man in front of the hot-hitting Leday. So Marine at first, 2 steals. He's been caught once. 2 runs, 2 hits, and an error for the Jackalopes. 1-4-0 for the High Wheelers. And the pitch to Leday, and that's bunted up on the grass. Third base side, Lee off the hill, up with the ball. And he throws to Villafuerte at first, and Leday is out. Nice job by Lee getting off the mound quickly, gloving that ball. So that'll be a sacrifice bunt, and that goes 1-3. So tying run at second, and now here is the designated hitter, and Sam Kuczynski. He is 0 for 3. Well, base hit to the outfield could tie it. Shade really all around the right field area. Lee looks back at second and the pitch, and Kuczynski takes, and that's high, ball 1. And the count is at 1 ball and no strikes. Outfield is in a few steps. Right fielder Sackett well off the line. 1 ball, no strikes. And the pitch, and Kuczynski, high pop-up foul right side, strike 1. And the count is at 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 runs, 2 hits, and 1 error for the visiting Jackalopes. 1-4-0 for the hometown High Wheelers. Now 1 ball and 1 strike the count. And Lee delivers, and Kuczynski takes off the plate, ball 2. So now 2 balls and 1 strike the count from the pitcher Cole Lee, who went to a couple of different colleges in the Oklahoma City area, including Southern Nazarene. The 2-1 pitch, swing and a miss at a fastball. Strike 2. And the count's at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lee is also a two-way player. Lee is also an outfielder. We've not seen him in the outfield in this series. We've seen him twice on the mound. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. He works from the third base side of the rubber. 2-1 Jackalopes. And the 2-2 pitch. Hit toward third and under the glove of the third baseman Bathauer on down the left field side. Rounding third is Marine. He will score the tying run. And we are equal at 2. Ball went right under the glove of the third baseman Bathauer. That'll be an error charge to Bathauer. Ball was hard hit, but again, that's a thing a third baseman normally should make. And it did go right under his glove. So E5, there is no RBI. But that ties the game at 2. Second error for the Jackalopes today, which of course negates any chance of a win for Elijah Johnson, who pitched well today for Grand Junction. So Kuczynski will come out of the game, and Kirkland Banks, who I know I haven't mentioned today because he's not been in the lineup, but Banks will come in to pinch run. Now, who knows? Being that Kuczynski is not playing defense today, we'll see if he remains in the game. But anyway, Kirkland Banks will go in and pinch run. And now it's Gonzalez who will come to the plate. So Banks, the runner at first, 4 steals this year. He's not been caught. 2-2, bottom of the 8th, and the pitch to Gonzalez, and that's lifted high in the air toward left field. Sends Turner back into the corner, and the ball lands out of play. No balls and 1 strike the count. Again, with a rule that you can the player who leaves due to a pinch hitter or a pinch runner can then come back and stay in the game. But remember, Kuczynski's the DH, so he could come back and reappear as the DH today. We'll see if he does or if Banks. In a way, Billy Horton has a couple of options he can wait on there. So Banks at first. 2-2 now. So now Jack Zalaski is off the hook. So the pitchers of record at this very moment, Lee for Grand Junction and Langrell for Yolo. The 0-1 pitch, and that's a strike called on the outside corner. And the count's now at no balls and 2 strikes. So 2-2, bottom half of the 8th inning, which was a 0-0 game through 6 innings today. No ball, 2-strike pitch, and that swung on, hit to second base. Rios up with it, flips the D-slit second for 1, and the shortstop Soto Villafuerte at first. That's a double play to conclude the 8th inning, but the High Wheelers tie it. That double play goes 4-6-3. 1 run, no hits, 1 error, and nobody left. We go to the 9th, 2-2, Yolo and Grand Junction on YouTube Live. We go to the top of the 9th inning. It is 2-2, and Ty Buckner will come on and become the 5th Yolo pitcher. So Reza started but worked only 1 inning and had to leave due to, I guess, a health-related matter. And then Ferrer came in for 4, and then it's been since then Zalaski, Langrell, and now Buckner. And the first pitch on the way to Austin Shoemaker, hit right back to Buckner, takes a step off the mound. And actually probably had to take more than 1 step off the mound, but anyway, up with the ball, and he'll throw on to the first baseman, Minzy, and Shoemaker is out. So 1 pitch and 1 out. Buckner likes that. Shoemaker, Villafuerte, and Henderson, 5, 6, and 7 to face Ty Buckner with the game even at 2. No wins and no losses for Buckner, who's worked 3 2/3 innings this season. He's allowed 4 runs, but none of them earned, as the pitch on the way is outside, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. I mean, a pitcher might say, well, yeah, I have an ERA of 0, but the pitcher might also say that also meant I couldn't get a third out after an error, and that's all on me, unable to pitch around that. The 1-0 on the way, and that's inside, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. So 2-2. Top half of the ninth inning. Buckner works on the first base side of the rubber. 25 years old, 6'1", 190 pounds, from the St. Louis area. As the 2-0 pitch taken for a strike on the outside corner. And the count's at 2 balls and 1 strike. A good job by Connor Langrell to keep it at a 2-run output for Grand Junction, allowing Yolo a chance to tie the game. That's where we are now, tied 2-2 as the pitch swinging a foul back of the plate by Villafuerte. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Langrell ended up working 2 innings and struck out 2, all zeros in between that. So 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Outfield medium depth and straight away. Villafuerte drove home the first run of the game. That was in the 7th, an RBI double. As he looks at strike 3 on the outside corner. Now he's going to ask to challenge that. Or actually, you know what? I think they're out of challenges, so that's strike 3. So Villafuerte is down on strikes for the first time today. First strikeout for Buckner. So 2 out, and now Damian Henderson bats. Now remember, if Grand Junction doesn't score in this inning, then the best they can do is hope for a tie after 9, because then if we are tied after 9, we go to the knockout round. Henderson takes, and that's a strike on the inside corner, 0-1. Grand Junction has lost 1 knockout round this year. That was at home against Boise. Yolo is yet to be tied after 9 innings this year. No balls, 1 strike. Outfield around to the left. And the kick and the pitch from Buckner, and that's low ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Henderson followed Villafuerte's double with a RBI single in the 7th, so he's 1 for 2. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. 2-2 is the score, top of the 9th inning. Big hole in right center, as I mentioned, swinging a ground ball to first. That's gloved back of the bag by Minzy. Underhand toss to the pitcher, Buckner covering in time. Henderson is out, and Buckner a 1-2-3 ninth. So no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. Anybody can win it for Yolo. We go to the bottom half of the 9th inning. 2-2, Yolo and Grand Junction on YouTube Live. Same picture. 6? Yeah, I don't know if they make other changes.
Because the front of the jersey looks like a 5 for a minute, and I was like, oh, boy.
Same guy. Let me just check with her anyway.
Which is on our profile. Just like have that ready to go if we need to play it. It's actually set up. Yeah, okay, that is the extra. Okay. Yeah, the story that we did.
Last chance for the, I say the last chance, last chance to win the game. Again, this is a, again with the Pioneer League, we don't play extra innings if it's tied after 9. We go to the knockout round. So Yolo would just like to win this game in 9 innings. Cole Lee's still out there for Grand Junction, and Braden Blackford leads it off for the High Wheelers. And the first pitch is outside ball 1-0. So anybody can win it here for Yolo. It's Blackford, Minzy, and Guerra. 6, 7, and 8 with the game tied at 2. Bottom of the 9th. Cole Lee winds, and the pitch. Fastball swing and a miss, strike 1. And the count is at 1 ball and 1 strike. Doug Greenwald with you here on YouTube Live. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for Yolo. 2-2-2 for Grand Junction as Blackford takes a breaking ball low. And the count's at 2 balls and 1 strike. Blackford is 0 for 2 with a walk. Lee came on in the 7th inning. And then High Wheelers taking advantage of a leadoff walk and an error tied the game in the 8th. Is the pitch, breaking ball, 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball taken for a strike on the inside corner, 2-2. Lee winds and the pitch, swing, ground ball, second base to his right. Rios up with a baseball, and it's sort of Villafuerte at first, and that retires Blackford. 1 down. And now Mason Minzy will come to the plate. Again, this was a 0-0 game going to the 7th. And then, in fact, Grand Junction didn't even have a hit through the first 6 innings, but then came through with 2 runs and a few hits, then 2 hits in that inning. So now it's Minzy who takes inside ball 1-0. Kyle Guerra on deck. Lee right back, and that pitch swing. Fly ball center field. Fisher broke back, but time to come in, and the speedy center fielder, plenty of room out there to make the catch. 2 out. And now it'll be Kyle Guerra, and this is the last chance, and it will be regulation. Obviously, we'll explain the rules. If we do go to the knockout round, we will explain the rules if we get that far. I'm not going to waste my breath at the moment on that. So now it's Guerra who drove home the first Yolo run with a sac fly in the 7th. He's 0 for 2. And he takes outside ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes to the right fielder and Guerra. The windup by Cole Lee and the 1-0 high fastball, swing and a miss. And that's strike 1. And the count's at 1 ball and 1 strike. So 1-1 the count. And the pitch and a breaking ball, and that's taken strike 2, called on the outside corner. And the count's at 1 ball and 2 strikes. So 1-2. The windup and the pitch swung on, and that's poked softly left field, base hit. Wasn't even a full swing. It almost looked like a check swing right there. And Guerra has himself a single as the left fielder Turner, moving to his right up with the ball, gets it in towards second. So Guerra's got good speed. He's the winning run at first. And now it's Angel Mendoza who bats. Remember I mentioned that Kuczynski, when he was listed as a pinch runner in the 8th inning, that, it's possible that, well, I guess they could have batted around, I suppose. It's a bit of a stretch what I just said in the 8th inning, but in this inning it will be impossible to get to that part of the order. So, let's just say, because you have 2 out, let's say Mendoza reaches and then Skinner reaches, then Marine would be the last batter of this inning no matter what. Marine or whoever would come up in the number 2 spot possibly would be the last batter. They wouldn't even get in this inning or really the rest of this game, so Billy Horton's not got to worry about whether he keeps Kuczynski or Banks in that DH spot. We have a pitching change. 1 on, 2 out, bottom of the 9th inning. Yolo 2, Grand Junction 2. And back to tell you about the new Grand Junction pitcher, Hunter Bryan, in a moment on YouTube Live. Well, Hunter Bryan, who has appeared in now 3 games in the series, comes on to do the pitching. He saved yesterday's game. The Visalia product, and Hunter Bryan inherits Kyle Guerra at first and 2 out, and the game tied at 2. Yolo and Grand Junction. Bottom of the 9th inning, Angel Mendoza, he's 0 for 2 with a walk. Guerra at first. Outfield medium depth straight away, and Mendoza would like to put one up the gap right here as he takes outside ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Bryan, 6 feet, 205 pounds, 23 years old. Again, earned the save yesterday, working the final inning and a third of perfect relief. The 1-0 pitch, Mendoza swinging a miss, strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. So again, Guerra at first base. 2 steals this year. He has not been caught. And obviously, he's off on contact. Again, if this game is tied after this inning, we go to the home run knockout round. And I mentioned that we'll explain all that to you in terms of the rules if we get there. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the pitch on the way from Bryan is outside ball 2. The former Ranger farmhand and Hunter Bryan, who went to Redwood High School in Visalia. So 2 balls and 1 strike the count. Entire right field area is in the shade, so the right fielder Sackett is standing in the shade. 2 balls, 1 strike. And the kick and the pitch from the set. Swing and a miss to the slider. Strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And now Yolo, well, at least in regulation, down to its last strike. Now 2-2 the count with 2 out. On deck the top of the order, and Braylon Skinner. Garrett first, the 2-2. Mendoza stays alive and keeps regulation going on a foul to the backstop. 2-2, so the right fielder Sackett in the shade. The center fielder Fisher standing in a little pocket of shade out in, well, obviously out in center where it's still pretty sunny. And the left fielder Turner standing in the sun. Plenty of sun out there. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bryan delivers. Mendoza swings, fouls a high fastball to the screen. And the count remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes on this sunny Saturday from Yolo County. So 2-2 the count with 2 out. 2-5-0 for the High Wheelers. 2-2-2 for the Jackalopes. And the 2 ball, 2 strike pitch with Guerra at first. Here it is from Bryan, and Mendoza takes breaking pitch, strike 3 called. He knew it, good pitch on the inside corner. Bryan took something off of that, and Mendoza is out. Bryan strikes out his lone batter today, and now we will go to that knockout round. So no runs, there was 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left. So after 9 innings, this game is tied at 2. Now, here's how the knockout round works. The visiting team gets to bat first, and they can choose any player on the active roster. The rule is you can choose any player on the active roster unless that player in the game has been ejected, but nobody's been ejected today on either side. So you can choose any player. The player can hit as many home runs as possible. You get 5 swings. Now, anything less than a home run is an out. So you can hit a ball off the top of the wall. You can hit a ball 500 feet, but if it goes foul, it counts as one of the 5 outs. It has to be a home run. Ball has to go literally over the fence on the fly. Can't bounce over the wall. And obviously you then have to, so let's say the first batter for Grand Junction hits 3 home runs. Then whoever comes up for Yolo then has to match it or do better. Obviously, if that player does better, then you win it. So let's say it gets tied after the first round. Then you have to go to another player. It has to be a different player in the different rounds. So first round, you're tied after that. Then go to a second round. It can't be the same person at any time. So anyway, that's how things work. So they are setting up right now, and we will see who comes up on each side. So the Grand Junction Ball Club has already lost one knockout round game this year. Now, this counts in the records, folks. If whoever wins this knockout round wins the game, it's like I guess you could say a shootout in hockey. I guess you get one extra point in the shootout in hockey, but this is, counts in the standings. Now, there is no winning and losing pitcher today. And usually it's a coach that will come out and do the pitching. Anyways, they are setting up a batting practice round right now. And that's how things will be. So it'll be, and it's a running clock. I mean, they're setting up right now, but once you get going, it's 2 minutes for each round. You're allowed to take a pitch. So let's say it's a pitch you just don't want to, at which you don't want to swing. That's fine. They're not going to call that an out against you. So, as I said, it's the first time that Yolo has ever played in the knockout round. And as I mentioned, Grand Junction has already played a couple of rounds, or sorry, has played one knockout round this year. So, we'll take a break for about, well, let's see here. We're about set to go. I don't want to break and then come back in the middle of a break. And we'll see who will comes to the plate here. But this is something that was instituted last year. I was at one Pioneer League game last season as a fan. I went to a game in northern Colorado. It was northern Colorado against Boise. And I just so happened Boise tied the game in the top of the ninth with a pinch hit home run to the northern Colorado. It didn't score in the bottom half of the ninth. So it went to a knockout round. So we'll see, as I said, who comes up for each side. Now, here's the thing is that Yolo this year only has one home run. Grand Junction has hit 7 home runs this year. But this is not a regular pitcher going. This will be a, how you have in Little League, you have, coach pitch or parents pitch. This is going to be coach pitch here. So you have to see the first ever knockout round. And they are again setting up the BP screen right here. So it'll be the manager pitching for Grand Junction, Chris Nabenshoe. And I believe coming to the plate, it's going to be Austin Schunard, who we've yet to see this series. He's one of the catchers, 6'1", 215 pounds. So Schunard, who does have one home run this season. He's the son of former A and Diamondback pitcher Bobby Schunard. So it looks like he's coming up. He's got a bat. He's standing near home plate. But we'll see. And now, as I said, it looked like he was going to be ready to go. And now it appears it's going to be Damian Henderson who has a home run in this series. So both teams are standing, at least Grand Junction is standing at the moment near home plate. I would have to think that Grand Junction would want to back away in case Henderson should foul one off. He might knock out it really could be the knockout round because he might knock out all of his teammates. So now the umpires here, both base umpires will stay down the lines because if something happens to, come close to the foul pole, it will have to be ruled, obviously, appropriately. Now the home plate umpire here, Bill Shortridge, he's putting back on the mask. One thing I don't know, I said you could take a pitch. I'm wondering if it's right down the middle, if it would be a strike, that would be an out. I'm not sure on that. I thought you could take a pitch regardless of where it ends up and just not count against you. All right, well, now the Grand Junction team has moved back a little bit, but it's like they're just sitting out having a picnic. That's what it appears to be. So
All right, I don't think we have a tape measure in the press box. This cabinet usually has
So I'm not sure what is happening right now, what they are discussing. So. Anyway, well, why don't we take a break for about a minute and come back with the knockout round. Of course, this game tied at 2 after 9 innings, so we will have the home run knockout round momentarily. We'll take a break on YouTube Live. I saw it once last year as a fan.
So no winning and losing future. Beautiful. Awesome. Fantastic. Because I can't save a game without winning. Brian's going to get an email from me.
Well, Well, we are back, still awaiting the start of this knockout round. And I guess the ground screw is getting some sort of tape measure. I don't believe the pitchers, they don't throw literally from the mound. They throw from maybe, I don't know, 40 feet, but two of the umpires are breaking out the tape measure, so it's going right from home plate. To well, talking about tape measures, here's a guy who's hit a few tape measure home runs. Saw that Aaron Judge of the Yankees, remember he homered twice last night in San Francisco, and he is already at it again tonight in San Francisco. So that Judge has homered, and the Yankees lead at 2-0. A two-run homer in the first by Judge. His 21st home run. I would take him on my team for a home run hitting contest. And talk about Aaron Judge in that game homering off of Logan Webb. Well, of course, those two have very, very strong ties to this area. Judge, who's from Linden, not far from Stockton, and Logan Webb, of course, from Rockland. So I wonder if those two might have faced each other before professional baseball. But Judge takes Webb deep. First time Aaron Judge has ever played at Oracle Park. Judge grew up a Giants fan, would go sit in the left field seats there, and hits 2 homers in the first time he ever played there last night. And homers again. Judge, who had just an amazing May, and he probably didn't want May to end, but then ends up homering twice for last night, and already 3 times. Probably didn't want the calendar to shift to June, but Yankees have won 14 of their last 18 games. Judge now has reached base safely in 28 straight games. Became the first player in Yankees history to have at least 14 homers and 12 doubles in a single calendar month. Last guy to do that, some guy named Lou Gehrig back in 1930. All right, we are finally set to go with this, what seemed like a 5-minute break. And it'll be Damian Henderson to start the knockout round. And 2 minutes, a running clock here in the round, and the pitch low and in. So, again, he can let that go by. Now he swings, and that will be a line drive to right field, but it doesn't leave the yard. I've never called one of these before, folks. I really don't know how to call home run derby. He lets the next pitch go by. Obviously, there's nobody in the field defensively. Sam Olson, by the way, is the catcher for this. So, again, that's 1 out, by the way. 1 swing, 1 out there. And now Henderson drives this one deep to right. And that leaves the yard. So that's 1 homer and 2 swings there for Henderson. And now he's been letting quite a few go by, so he's got 1 home run and 2 swings. And now he flies this one toward right field, and that leaves the yard, so that's 2 homers in 3 swings. So Yolo, whoever they're going to send up, will need to hit, well, who knows how many. Henderson swings here, and he flies that one, and that will not leave the yard. So that's 2 homers and 4 swings. Down to 28 seconds this round. Again, Chris Dobbins, his manager, is the one pitching. And Henderson swings there, and that is going to leave the yard. That's his 3rd homer.
3 outs.
And drives this one foul. That's his 4th. That's the 4th out right there. And he drives this one. And I don't believe that left the yard. So did he hit 2 or 3 home runs in that round? He hit 2 home runs. So Henderson hit 2 home runs. I couldn't see with the again, normally when I call a home run, if I see a right fielder give up on the ball, I normally know it's a home run. All right, well, now it'll be Bobby Leday, and Bobby Leday, here's how it goes. He has to hit at least 2 home runs to keep this going. If he hits 3 home runs, and the High Wheelers win, and again, this factors in the standings. So, again, it'll be Gary Davenport, the bench coach, who will be the pitcher here for the High Wheelers. So Leday, who has the only home run this year for Yolo, and that was the grand slam here on Tuesday night. And now we'll see what happens here. And again, Bobby Leday has to at least hit 2 home runs, or this match is over. So again, Gary Davenport will do the pitching, and he has delivers, and Leday, that's out number 1, lines one in the left field, but that'll be an out right there. Again, Grand Junction coming in at 2-7 on the year, Yolo at 4-3. Leday flies this one deep to left field, and that ball is gone. That's a home run, so that's 1 run back, 1 homer back. And now his 3rd swing, that's hit down the left field line. That doesn't leave the yard. That's 3 swings. He's got 1 homer. He's got 2 swings left now. And he grounds this one into the outfield, so he's down to 1 swing.
3 outs.
I'm sorry, he's got 5 outs. Let me correct. That's right. Of course, the home run doesn't count as an out, so he gets 3 outs so far. And he drives this one foul. So now he's down to 1 swing. Needs the homer here. This is all or nothing right here with the knockout round on the line. Gary Davenport lays one in, and Leday drives one toward left, but that will not leave the yard. And Grand Junction wins the knockout round 2-1 and wins this game. So Grand Junction with the win goes to 3-7, and Yolo drops to 4 and 4. So the knockout round is won 2-1 by the Grand Junction Jackalopes. And that will do it. So we'll come back, give you the final totals of this one this afternoon as Grand Junction wins this game 4-3 based on the knockout round. So we'll recap it for you when we get back. A 4-3 win in the knockout round for Grand Junction. Back with the final totals in a moment. Well, the final score through 9 innings today was 2-2, but the knockout round was won by Grand Junction, 2 homers to 1. Damian Henderson over Bobby Leday. Damian Henderson of Grand Junction and Leday of Yolo. So Grand Junction with the win now 3-7 this year. And actually, they are 3-8 this year. Grand Junction is 3-8 now, and Yolo is 4-4. I know that Grand Junction lost the knockout round when they were at home last week, and I did not factor that in their overall record. There was no winning or losing pitcher. The final totals today of the 9-inning game for Grand Junction: 2 runs, 2 hits, 2 errors, and 5 left. Yolo: 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors, and 7 left. And again, no winning or losing pitcher. Well, the starting pitcher today for Yolo was J.C. Ariza, and he ended up only lasting 1 inning. He had to come out due to some health-related matter, so he worked 1 inning and 1 strikeout. Ben Ferrer, excellent job eating up the middle portion of the game, early to mid portion of the game for the High Wheelers. 4 hitless and shutout innings, walked 2, struck out 6, and hit a batter. It was 0-0 going to the 7th. In fact, Grand Junction didn't even have a hit through 7 innings. And then in the top of the 7th, Jack Zalaski was on the pitch for the High Wheelers, the Sacramento native. And it was Austin Shoemaker who led off with a walk. Then right after that, the first baseman, Conrad Villafuerte, an RBI double to left. Well, Shoemaker moved to second on a wild pitch, and then Villafuerte, an RBI double to left. And that made it 1-0 Grand Junction. And then right after that, it was the designated hitter and Damian Henderson, an RBI single to right. Well, Elijah Johnson did an outstanding job at a starting role today for Grand Junction. And he went to the 7th inning. He lasted until the 7th inning. And in the bottom of the 7th, Yolo got going. Left fielder Jose Gonzalez singled to left. Third baseman Braden Blackford walked, and then Mason Minzy sacrificed the runners along with a bunt. Kyle Guerra then a sacrifice fly, and that made it 2-1 Grand Junction. It stayed that way to the bottom of the 8th. Elijah Johnson came out. The play of the game, though, this was really the play of the game, was in the 7th. Cole Lee came on to pitch. Yolo had runners at 2nd and 3rd, and Braylon Skinner lined a ball headed towards center, and the Grand Junction shortstop, Jeff Diesla, made a diving catch to his left, and that maintained a 2-1 Grand Junction lead. But in the 8th, Yolo tied it against Cole Lee. Braylon Marine led off with a walk, moved to second on a sac bunt by Bobby Leday, the shortstop, and then designated hitter Sam Kuczynski came up, hit a hard hit ball to third, and under the glove of Mike Bathauer, it went as an error. Marine scored, and that tied the game at 2. And Yolo could not add to that, so we eventually went to the knockout round. And in that knockout round, it was Damian Henderson hitting 2 home runs for Grand Junction. Bobby Leday hit 1 for Yolo, but that was not enough. And Grand Junction wins in a knockout form, 2-1 in the home run area of what was a 2-2 game through 9 innings. After Ferrer, Jack Zalaski, 1 inning plus for Yolo, 2 hits, 2 runs both earned, 2 walks and a strikeout. Connor Langrell, 2 perfect innings with 2 strikeouts. And Ty Buckner, 1 inning and 1 strikeout. Yolo pitchers combined to strike out 11 batters this afternoon. And that is the most strikeouts by a Yolo club so far this season. Elijah Johnson for the Nebraska native for Grand Junction, 6 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 1 run earned, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts, and a hit batter. Cole Lee, 2 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, which was not earned, a walk, no strikeouts, and a wild pitch. And Hunter Bryan, his 3rd appearance of the series, 1/3 of the inning, and 1 strikeout. And again, even though the game was tied after 9 innings at 2-2, Grand Junction wins the knockout round 2-1. All right, now it's time to set the scene for tomorrow, final game of the 6-game series and first homestand for the High Wheelers. We'll have it for you starting at roughly 12:50 on YouTube Live. Right-hander Josh Verdon gets his 2nd start of this series, his 3rd of the year. No wins, no losses, an ERA of 19.5. And Yolo will counter with left-hander Brandon Mitchell. And he is without a decision this year through 1 start. So the righty Verdon for Grand Junction, the lefty Mitchell for Yolo, and we'll start the feed at roughly 12:50 p.m. tomorrow. Mike Chappelle, a great job helping put this one together, and the Yolo front office, and of course a big thank you to all of you fans for tuning in. Final score, the 9-inning portion was 2-2, the knockout round and eventual game won by Grand Junction, 2 home runs to 1 in the first and only round of the knockout segment. Time of today's game, 2 hours and 46 minutes. And again, by what we are told, not allowed to give an attendance figure. That'll do it for today. Doug Greenwald saying good afternoon and early good evening from Dobbins Stadium.